And a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Roncalli Royals Baseball on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's. A crisp April evening, which would ordinarily, if you've been in a cave all spring, fool you into thinking it's still winter, 54 degrees on the south side of Indianapolis, as the Royals have a Circle City Conference showdown on a 7-game winning streak as they welcome in the Braves of Brebeuf Jesuit. Hi again, everybody. Alongside Rob Brown, I'm Jimmy Cook. RB, it's been a nice string of wins for the Royals. Their sights are set on a deep run to the postseason, but of course, their first goal, first and foremost, Circle City Conference title. Another step in that direction could occur tonight with a win over Brebeuf.
Well, the Royals defending conference champions after posting that 8-2 mark in conference play last year. Brebeuf wants to get a title back of their own, winning their last title in 22, but the Royals trying to keep the momentum going after getting a huge win last night on the road. Royals defeated the number 7th ranked team in Class 3A in the state, Gibson Southern. Royals ranked 8th in this week's 3A poll. They met in the middle, winning they met at IU last night. Royals winning 4-2, and as a result have won 7 in a row. Brebeuf got beaten a doubleheader against Lutheran on Saturday, so the Braves come in a little bit of a skid, 3-3, the Braves mark. But the Royals 1-0 in conference play, beat Heritage Christian a couple weeks ago, but this is kind of the heart of conference play where you play the home and home. These two teams will play again tomorrow night on the north side. So the Royals trying to get the week off, the conference week off, to a good start tonight. Yeah,
it feels like a real opportunity to gain serious momentum if you can take 2 in a row against Brebeuf. But hey, as the age-old adage goes, to get 2, you got to get 1, and that starts tonight at La Pinta Field. We'll step aside for 30 seconds, be right back. Rob caught up with head coach Tony Vittoria, get his thoughts on the outlook for the season and tonight's matchup against the Braves. It's Roncalli and Brebeuf. You're listening on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
About buying or selling land? Maybe a hunting paradise, some productive farmland, or a cozy home with some elbow room? Then look no further than Bill and Jay Miner, your Whitetail Properties land specialists. These Roncalli alums know West Central and South Central Indiana like the back of their hands. Don't wait. Call Bill and Jay today at 317-446-9500 or at 317-370-2422 or visit their agent profiles at whitetailproperties.com.
We're here on the Dugout Show with the head man, Tony Vittorio, as the Royals back at home in Circle City Conference play, first of 2 against Brebeuf Jesuit. Royals will head to the north side tomorrow to take on the Braves. But before we get into the matchup tonight, let's go back to last night's game. Huge win for your team, Coach, beating a ranked Gibson Southern team on a neutral field. Great opportunity for your kids to play at IU and a college program's field. First, what was that experience like for your kids to play on that field and play in that environment?
Yeah, obviously I think it was awesome, and also hats off to Coach Siegel and Gibson Southern. He does such a great job. They have a really good team, and the kid we faced last night who beat us last year was a really good pitcher. So it was a fun matchup, but we didn't take advantage of playing on that field long. I think the game was done in an hour and a half because it was a pitching battle and a 4-2 game.
Your team came out on top 4-2, comes in tonight, winners of 7 in a row, nearing the 1/3 mark, 8 games in, 7-1 your team right now. Want to look at this in 2 ways. First of all, your pitching staff has been lights out, ERA collectively under 2.5. I think the number that jumps out more than anything is the strikeout to walk ratio, almost 3-1. How do you feel about how your pitching staff has performed here so far at the 1/3 poll?
Yeah, I think they've been outstanding, right? And that's something that we were concerned about. I don't think we were concerned about our depth on the mound, but more, do we have a couple lights out guys on the mound, right? So, we play to what we call advantage counts, right? We want to force contact within the first 3 pitches, and we want our pitchers to be at 70% or above, and that's what they've been doing a great job of, which means that they've been controlling the zone, right? And their pitchability's been great. Our last 2 outings with McHugh and Korea have been awesome.
Hitting-wise, you've shown a little bit of versatility, and by that I mean you had a run there where 5 straight games you scored at least 11 runs on the way to victories. But these last 2 games, the 4-2 win over Kokomo here on Saturday and then the win last night, where you had to manufacture 4 runs against a very good team in Gibson Southern. So you've won in a couple different ways. What have you seen from your offense here through the first 8?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our overall numbers, they're outstanding and kind of ridiculous, right? And again, instead of looking at, this original stats, right, we're all about, controlling our performance at the plate, right? So we go into quality at-bats over batting average, and we want to be at like 55% or above, and we're at 69%, which is an unbelievable number. And then, something that's huge to me, I'm not a swing-through pitch type coach, right? And, I think we have double of free passes to strikeouts, right, which means we're moving the ball and putting the pressure on the defense, and obviously our running game is really, really good. We not only are we fast, but we can run the base as well.
Well, you mentioned 5 steals a factor last night, and that was a big key in manufacturing that insurance run that put you up 2, with Will Manship stealing second, stealing third, put him in position to score on that wild pitch in the 6th.
Yeah, I think that besides the pitching and defense that we got from Korea, and obviously our team defense, I think the difference of that game was I think we had 5 stolen bases to their 1, right? So getting in scoring position and scratching out 4 runs. So that was, our thing is, we look back at last year and really one guy beat us in the county in the sectional, and our whole thing this year is don't let one guy beat you, right? And because there's not double elimination tournaments and those type of things, so we're focused in on that. And we have seniors, we have a lot of experience, and if they decide not to be denied, then good things can happen.
Matchup tonight with Brebeuf. Your team already 1-0 in the conference after beating Heritage Christian a couple weeks ago, but your team, the defending conference champions. Big series this week against Brebeuf. I know the Braves have a couple conference championships to their title, to their credit as well. What do you look for matchup-wise tonight? I know you've got Nico Amadeo on the hill this evening.
Yeah, so obviously Brebeuf's a really quality team. That I think they've been in 2 of the last three state championships. So they're a quality team ran by Coach Neese and Coach Scott, right? So they're fundamentally sound, and but Roncalli, we're all about. I said it when I got this job. It's a school of champions, right? So we're locked in on every game, but playing well and putting pressure on them from a offensive standpoint, making routine plays and trying to get out of this thing with another win.
Royals winners of 7 in a row. Back at conference play tonight. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
That's Roncalli head man Tony Vittorio. Jimmy and I will be back with the lineups and first pitch from LaPinta Field. That's next on the Roncalli Media Network.
About buying or selling land? Maybe a hunting paradise, some productive farmland, or a cozy home with some elbow room? Then look no further than Bill and Jay Miner, your Whitetail Properties land specialists. These Roncalli alums know West Central and South Central Indiana like the back of their hands. Don't wait. Call Bill and Jay today at 317-446-9500 or at 317-370-2422 or visit their agent profiles at whitetailproperties.com.
Now back at LaPinta Field, Ron Brown alongside Jimmy Cook. Let's take a look at the lineup for the visitors from Brebeuf. Ethan Norris leads off. He'll play shortstop. Andrew O'Brien is the second hitter. He's at first base. Anthony Susha hits third in center field. Nick Sobek. The cleanup hitter at third base. Josh Bingman pitches and bats fifth. Nate Marcus, the sixth hitter, at second base. Isaiah Frank in right field hits seventh. Noah Bergstrom, the DH, hits eighth. And Evan O'Brien is the 9-hitter in left field. Defensively for the Royals, outfield, left to right, Maddox Hayworth, Rudy Shutley, and Colin Ash. Infield, Luke Baker at third, Gio Artizone at shortstop, Sam Rader at second base, Drew Nelson at first. Jack Oncall's behind the plate, and on the mound, the senior, the Dayton commit, Nico Amadeo, making his third appearance, all starts. Amadeo 2-0 with a 2.42 ERA, 8 2/3 innings pitched, allowed 5 runs, 3 earned, 8 hits, 12 strikeouts, and 2 walks. His last time out, he was spectacular. The winning pitcher a week ago, back on the 9th of April, beat Southport at UIndy, went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs, 5 hits, struck out 9 against no walks for the win. Ethan Norris stands in, hits from the right side of the plate. And here to call it, the voice of the Royals, Jimmy Cook.
Well, Rob, I thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone. Welcome to La Pinta Field. Alongside RB, I am Jimmy Cook. As Amadeo looks in and delivers, we are underway. As went around, did Norris on the opening delivery. So count 0-1. Norris on the season, a .400 hitter. To his credit, 2 homers and 2 RBIs. 54 degrees first pitch temperature. Nice gust into right field, right down the middle. Delivers for the count of 0-2 for Amadeo.
And you love when the game starts right at 6 o'clock. Official game time start.
It's an efficient operation, as you know oh so well. Jason Sims runs a very tight ship.
Yep, just how we like it.
0-2 is just upstairs and out. Count 1-2.
Tim Wesley, our plate umpire tonight. Kim Humphrey out on the bases.
Amadeo looks into on call. Is 1-2 to Norris. Called strike 3. Got him looking, and there's one away.
I mentioned Amadeo, 9 strikeouts against no walks. Good start there.
Brings up Andrew O'Brien. On the season, O'Brien, a .500 hitter. 1 homer, 5 RBIs. The lefty awaits. Pitch is low off a ricochet. Deflected off the knee pad there of on call. Count 1-0. There's the 1-2 from Amadeo. That finds the outside corner, 1-1.
You mentioned, Jimmy, 54 degrees, but the wind really gusting up to about 25 miles an hour out of the west, blowing out to straightaway right center.
Pitch nearly hit him. Did it hit him? It did. And they'll send O'Brien down to first. He'll take his base. Just got away from Amadeo there. And it now brings up Anthony Susha, power hitter and all-around leader of this Braves team. Susha on the season in .455, 3 homers, 11 RBIs. Runner on first, very, very short lead. Amadeo not wasting any time over there. He'll deliver the initial offering. Low, count 1-0. Brief dancing off first by O'Brien. But nothing that Amadeo hasn't seen before that he's really fooling around with as it stands in the early going.
Susha has 3 of the team's 6 home runs.
Pitch fouled back towards us off the netting. Count 1-1, one out here in the top of the first. It's been doing it in a lot of different ways, Rob, for this Braves offense, carrying it at times, as you highlight the homers there. Short lead off first for O'Brien. Throw over this time. He's back easily. Just to check on him. Count remains 1-1. Yeah, you mentioned, though, a steady, just in terms of overall weather atmosphere here, steady breeze out to right field with those gusts that Rob mentioned. 1-1 to Susha down the middle. Count 1-2. All angles of left, right, and center basically in the middle of their respective distinctions. Not too shallow, not too deep. Throw over to first once again in time. Getting back was O'Brien. Count remains 1-2. Amadeo looks into on-call. 1-2 to Susha. Swung on and missed. Strikes him out, his second K of the proceedings here in this top of the first, and there's 2 down.
That pitch was out of the zone. Susha chased one away there. Amadeo got Susha to chase one.
Brings up the third baseman, Nick Sobek. On the season, a .412 hitter. No homers, 5 RBIs. Runner off first is O'Brien, 2 outs. Pitch swung on, fouled back off the netting. Count 0-1.
And you heard Tony Vittorio mention in our pregame show about how this Brebeuf team played in the 3A state championship game 2 of the last 3 years. And a lot of these players have played in at least one, if not a couple of them played in both of those games.
Pitch. Swung on, grounded towards short, flipped to second for the force. Is easily scooped up Artizone to Raider, and that'll do it. Braves leave 1. No runs, no hits, and 1 left. We played a half. Braves go scoreless. Royals coming to bat, and we return. Step outside for 1 minute. Be right back on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Family owned and operated since 1971, O'Reilly Branson Funeral Service and Crematory has been dedicated to serving families with the utmost dignity and compassion. The staff at O'Reilly Branson are experts in pre-planning, cremation, and at-need funeral arrangements, and have a long history of supporting your Roncalli Royals. Your wishes are honored to the finest detail, allowing you to celebrate the life and cherished memories of your loved ones. For more information, visit O'ReillyBranson.com. O'Reilly Branson, where our Catholic family serves your Catholic family.
Discover the coin index in Greenwood. Have you inherited a coin collection you aren't sure what to do with? Are you interested in investing in precious metals? Then the Coin Index is your ultimate destination for coins and precious metals. We buy, sell, and appraise. Located at 857 North Madison Avenue, just south of the Greenwood Park Mall. For expert service and top-notch selection, visit us at coinindex.com. The Coin Index, your trusted partner in coins and precious metals.
Now Nico Amadeo works his way out of a small pickle in the first inning, striking out 2 of the 4 batters he faced. Let's take a look at the Royal batting order here in this bottom of the first. Rudy Shetley leading off in center field. Gio Artizone bats second. He's the shortstop. Colin Ash, the third hitter in right field. Sam Rader hits cleanup at second base. Maddox Hayworth, the left fielder, bats fifth. Luke Baker at third base, hitting sixth. Luke Rader is the DH, hitting seventh. Nico Amadeo, the pitcher, bats eighth. Drew Nelson at first, hitting ninth. Defensively for Brebeuf, Evan O'Brien in left field, Susha in center, Frank in right, Sobek Norris on the left side of the infield, Marcus and Andrew O'Brien on the right side. David Gasper behind the plate, and the pitcher is the senior Josh Bingman, making his third appearance, all starts. Bingman 1-0 on the year, 2.71 ERA, 10 and a third innings pitched, allowed 4 runs, all earned. 6 hits, 16 strikeouts against 10 walks. Bingman's last appearance was a complete game win against Carmel last week. Allowed just 1 run, 3 hits, 10 strikeouts against 4 walks. And back with the play-by-play, here's Jimmy.
Well, Rob, I thank you again. The Royals trying to add couple runs to open things in this opening frame after a scoreless first. Dished out by Amadeo. Shotley to lead things off, the center fielder. 500 hitter, no homers, 1 RBI. Committed to play football and baseball at Wabash, where they always fight, at least I'm told. Initial offering is low. Count 1-0.
WAF, Jimmy.
Indeed.
That middle letter is crucial.
It is.
By the way.
It's doing a lot of work. Bingman looks into Gasper. The 1-0 pitch. Low. It's low, but called for a strike. Count 1-1.
There's some heavy lifting going on with that middle letter there.
Shotley steps back in. Bingman looks and delivers the 1-1. Swung on and chopped foul right in front of home plate. And Shotley will regather himself.
Rudy went 2 for 2 last night. We talked about it a little bit in our pregame with Tony Vittorio. The Royals had to manufacture a couple runs last night against Gibson Southern, who threw their ace. Rudy, a big part of that.
Pitch 1-2, swung on and missed. Never had a chance, did Shotley. That was off the plate and thrown by him. Swinging over the top was Rudy. And just as Amadeo did with his first batter, it's an opening strikeout for Bingman. That brings up Gio Artizone. Artizone, the shortstop. 520 on the season. Well, Billy Joel walk-up. Always appreciate that. That's fouled off on the initial.
Little Vienna on the
That's
walk
beautiful.
up there.
That's beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Big fan. Pitch initial offering is fouled back behind home plate on a little dribbler.
I saw
Count
Sting.
0-1.
I saw Sting and Billy Joel
I know you
at
did.
Lucas.
I was envious of that. I wanted to get out there. Big Billy Joel fan.
One thing I did learn at that show, Jimmy.
0-1 to Artizone. Down Broadway, 4 strike, count 0-2.
Sting, a man, both artists,
Yeah.
Sting and Billy Joel. Sting does not skip arm day.
No?
Holy moly, that guy is jacked.
I could learn a thing or two in that department. 0-2 is Hammer down the right field line, hooking foul, and it will indeed find the batting cages.
I think I could hang with Sting on the leg press, but that man does not skip arm day.
I'm out on both counts, unfortunately.
Wow.
That's good.
He had
if you're a showman, Rob, you got to, if you're on stage as often as he is. 0-2. He is grounded towards third, fielded cleanly by Sobek. Throw to first. Not in time. Beating it out is Gio Artizone. He reaches, hustling out there for a hard-earned hit.
I think that might get scored in error.
Think so? Think a bobbled by
how
Sobek?
that scored.
Well, we had fun with this last year. We'll get to that in a second as Rob waits for how it scored. But Colin Ash, the left-handed hitter, up to the plate.
That ball was bobbled by Sobek. If he fields that cleanly, Artizone's out by a step. We'll see how that's scored.
You and I had quite a bit of fun. We'll wait for this initial offering to Ash. It's upstairs. There's a little bit of dancing taken on by Artizone. I had fun with also Pat Crawley on the softball side. I'm the most homer of scorekeepers that there is in terms of books. So
that is indeed scored in E5.
Well, that's unfortunate.
E5. Artizone reaches.
That's what I get for riding in pen. Shutley is caught in a pickle. He was leaning off first, and now he's in a rundown, headed towards second. He slips, he falls, he's tagged, and he's out. He was dancing off of first and slipped as he tried to dive back to first on the throw-over. And the Royals blow an interesting opportunity in the early stages here in the first.
If you're scoring at home, that goes 1-3-4. Or 1-3-6, excuse me. 1-3-6 on the putout. Pitcher, first base, shortstop on the putout. Artizone hung up.
So Ash now with bases empty and 2 outs, facing a 1-0 count. The delivery, he hits that towards the third base line, and that is a fair ball. Diving effort on the right side won't go. Now he's going for 2, and he's thrown out. 2 poor base running efforts by the Royals in the inning. The pickoff for Artizone caught in a pickle, and then Ash caught trying to stretch a single into a double. Leaves the Royals with no runs to show for them after 1. We head to the top of the second. Still scoreless. Braves coming up to bat on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Gallagher's Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
Back at La Pinta Field with Rob Brown, I'm Jimmy Cook. We're scoreless through 1, though the Royals could have had golden opportunities to maybe put at least 1 across. We'll get to that in just a second. For the Braves, middle of the order for them, Bigman, Marcus, and Frank. 5, 6, and 7 hitters upcoming as Amadeo continues right along. But Rob, some base running errors for Roncalli in back-to-back players on the lineup card, ending that inning earlier than it should have.
Well, you hate to see, to go a step further, Gio Artizone and Colin Ash, the 2-3 hitters for the Royals, came in. They're the 2 players in the lineup who had hit safely in all 8 games. They're your 2 hottest hitters.
Yep.
And they both got thrown out on the base paths.
Josh Bigman swings and misses at the initial offering from Amadeo. For Bigman, a .333 hitter, no homers and 1 RBI.
And to clean up some housekeeping.
Pitch nearly scraped Bigman. He's able to get out of the way. Count 1-1.
On the Ash play, in case you're scoring along with us, credit Ash with a single, and then he's thrown out 7-4, left fielder to second baseman on the play at second.
Swung on and missed. Count 1-2 for Bigman.
And baseball Twitter would call that a toot bland, Jimmy, which is an acronym. Toot bland, which is an acronym for
pitch inside, count 2-2.
Thrown out on the bases like a nincompoop.
Well,
Toot bland. Put
that's
that in your back
official
pocket.
baseball reference vernacular. I can use that for a rainy day.
Baseball
All right.
Twitter has a field day
All
with
right.
that. Yeah, you can find that on any given Saturday or Sunday.
2-2, pitch upstairs. Well, I'm gonna butcher who it was, but in more baseball humor, fellow Royal and our friend Colin O'Connor, noted Red Sox fan, sent me a Twitter post yesterday. Whoever the pitcher of record was there for Boston, as Amadeo looks in for the 3-2. That swung on and popped in the air out of play. First base side. I believe the phrasing on the tweet was, "It's a triple-double." And, Rob, that's not a good thing as a pitcher in baseball. Let me tell you right now. It was the ERA was through the roof. I believe we had some double-digit walks. It was not a good outing,
That's
Rob.
not good. That's not good.
No. 3-2 is swung on again, fouled first base side. You hang around baseball Twitter enough, you're going to learn something.
Very educational.
Yeah.
I would agree.
No outs here, top of the second. We're scoreless. With Rob Brown, I'm Jimmy Cook.
Here's the thing, though. The Royals have been very aggressive this season on the bases, and you have to take the good with the bad.
3-2 to Bingman. Fouled back. He stays alive. Count holds.
They've ridden that to great success so far early in the year, but sometimes it doesn't work out, and you have to accept sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah, if you roll into the 7-game winning streak they're on, you're going to take where the success has been and trust that the law of averages is going to be kind to you. 3-2 to Bingman. Swung on and missed. A little bit of heat there from Amadeo, his third strikeout of the proceedings, and there's one down.
That fastball was tailing away from the right-hander Bingman. Amadeo had something on that one.
Brings up Nate Marcus, the second baseman. Marcus, a 125 hitter on the season. No homers, 2 RBIs. Initial offering outside, well off the plate, diving for it to keep it in his glove, was on call. Count 1-0. There are many things that one can rant about during the baseball season. Secondary pitch, I should say, is low. Count 2-0. But, Rob, I think we're almost out of it based on the 10-day. But I know the parents feel it as well, the players too. I see plenty of blankets in the bleachers. Pitch, 2-0 is down the middle for a strike. Count 2-1. Last time I checked, date of record is April 15th. Happy Tax Day. And it is 54 degrees, and it feels like it's 30 because of the wind. I'm tired of it. Chopper down the third baseline is foul.
It's supposed to be
Count
almost
2-2.
80 on
Yeah,
Friday.
I think we're out of it. I'm willing, based on the 10-day, I'm willing to take that risk and that jinx. If it's 30 degrees May 5th, someone can send me an angry letter.
You may have talked yourself into a corner on that one.
2-2, hammered, foul, third base side. Well, that means we're getting snow on Derby Day, Rob. So
What was it that
counter that into your handicapping.
What was it that Michael Clark Duncan said? Don't put that mojo on me, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Yeah, there's the line.
Yeah. I think you might have talked yourself into that one.
Pitch, Marcus check swing is bunted in the air towards the shortstop hole. Gathers in a beautiful redemption play there for Artizone. Rewind it for a second. You look at him getting caught and slipping on the base pass there. Compounded mistake could have happened there, Rob, rushing that throw, but instead he's poised, an awkward play with it being a dribbler off the bat, does a double clutch, makes the throw for the easy out. There's 2 away.
Well, Artizone had plenty of time. Marcus with an excuse-me swing, and Marcus also had a late start out of the batter's box, so Artizone plenty of time to make that play. No need to rush.
Brings up Isaiah Frank, who fouls one off home plate. Frank on the season, 300 hitter, no homers and no RBIs. 241 a season ago.
Only a sophomore is Frank.
Right fielder awaits the 0-1 with 2 outs here in the top of the second from Amadeo. Pitch misses. Tried his best to frame that. Did on call, but could not. Count 1-1.
A nice pitch coming across the zone there.
Amadeo looks in, 1-1. Low again, 2-1. Thought for a second the wind out to right field had died down for a second. Now it's back in full force. Expect most of that throughout the evening. With not the black cat I brought in for the weather forecast upcoming, it would appear that least in terms of just the short term for tonight. A lot of wind keeping it cold throughout La Pinta. 2-1, swung on and missed. Count 2-2.
Mentioned these teams will be back at it tomorrow night at Brebeuf. Royals will play Franklin Central on the road on Saturday morning. Weather forecast for Saturday is not ideal.
2-2. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 4 for Amadeo. And he keeps the Braves quiet through 2. We've played an inning and a half, though. Officially, Royals trying to break this draw as it stands. They'll come out to bat. When we return, still scoreless from La Pinta Field. You're listening on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
Back at La Pinta Field with Rob Brown, I am Jimmy Cook. For the Royals, middle of the order due up. 5, 6, 7 coming up. Maddox Hayworth, Luke Baker, and Luke Rader. The left fielder in Hayworth gets things started as Bingman still, as he would in theory be, as long as the Braves will have him go, the pitcher of record through the early goings here as we go to the bottom of the second. Hayworth on the season, a .286 hitter, no homers and 7 RBIs. This is his third varsity season, just 2 homers a year ago to go along with 17 RBIs.
Well, Sam Rader will lead off the inning.
That is right, because of the single stretch into a double that ended things last time. So Rader, Hayworth, Baker, you're correct. My apologies. 4, 5, 6 for Roncalli. Rader's stats as follows: .385 hitter, 1 homer, 9 RBIs. His 4th year in a varsity uniform. Led the team in average runs, hits, doubles, and stolen bases a year ago. Having a nice season so far as well. Initial offering to Rader is low. Count 1-0. Got to feel good as an overall offensive mentality, Rob, despite the errors. Felt like you had a chance to develop something last inning. Pitch 1-0, swung on and missed. Count 1-1.
Yeah, you get your 2 hottest hitters both reach base in their first time through. That won't be the last time Gio Artizone and Colin Ash reach base tonight.
Bingman's 1-1 to Rader. Just misses downstairs. Count 2-1.
Sam Rader with the Bob Marley Buffalo Soldier walk-up music.
Quality.
It's like walking in front of the ATO house at Miami University.
2-1 is hammered toward the second base hole. Throw to first is in time. Scooped cleanly from Marcus to O'Brien, and there's 1 down.
Those guys played that thing on an endless loop.
I believe that.
Right there at the corner of High Street and Campus Avenue.
Any 3 little birds in the morning? Any action like that? No.
Yeah.
Now we go to Maddox Hayworth. .286 on the season. No homers, 7 RBIs. Pitch upstairs, count 1-0. Royalty has arrived. Athletic Director David Lauk in the building. It's Softball Man as well. Looking forward to some broadcasts on the other side of the Diamonds later this spring. Pitch grounded towards short. Gathered, thrown to first. In time on the tag, and there's 2 away. It was a bobble on the bounce for O'Brien, but he's able to place the tag on Hayworth, and there's 2 down.
Speaking of Brebeuf, softball team will be up at Brebeuf tomorrow night as well. Number 5 team in the state in Class 3A. Softball team in the latest poll.
Believe, as I checked the schedule, full slate of the coach, Pat Crosley, in the booth, as is tradition on the softball side. So looking forward to another adventurous season there. Pitch grounded towards third on a hop. Caught, throw high off the bag initially, but able to regather his step there was Nelson to end the inning. No runs, no hits, And nobody left. We've played 2 at La Pinta and are scoreless. Braves coming to bat after this. You're listening on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Comes to physical therapy, you have the freedom to choose your provider. At Indiana Physical Therapy, our experienced therapists will work with you to create a personalized treatment plan tailored to your needs. Whether you're recovering from injury, managing a chronic condition, or looking to improve your sports performance, we've got you covered. Take control of your health and schedule your appointment today at indianapt.com or call us at 317-449-2333.
Welcome back to La Pinta Field as we go to the top of the third. Royals and Braves scoreless in this Circle City Conference showdown. Back-to-back nights, Braves and Royals will be in action. A little home and home, as it were. Up for the Braves upcoming, 8, 9, and 1 in the order. Bergstrom, O'Brien, and Morris. And to take you through the third and the fourth inning, here is the legend himself, Rob Brown.
Thank you, Jimmy. Nothing our score. Zeros all across the board on this breezy Tuesday evening on the south side. Happy you're with us at La Pinta Field or wherever you may be taking this one in.
Number 8, Noah Bergstrom.
Noah Bergstrom, the DH, hitting from the right side, stands in. Sophomore hitting an even 1,000 on small sample size theater, 1 for 1 with a double. And Amadeo, who has struck out 4 of the first 7 he has faced, misses away on that first pitch.
Really been dealing through 2. You can tell he's been comfortable with his stuff so far.
It's the outside corner to even it up at 1-1. We talked with Tony Vittorio pregame about how his team, with a team ERA of 2.33 and an almost 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio through 8 games. That's spectacular. 58 strikeouts to 20 walks.
My Yankees could borrow some of that. That'd be nice.
And it's not just one guy carrying the load on that. It's across the staff.
Well, I mean, you look at any level of baseball, that type of consistency through a staff is going to carry you or can carry you to pretty much any of your goals.
Swing and a miss on a letter-high fastball, and Bergstrom is retired for the 5th strikeout of the game for Amadeo.
Less stellar, of course, needing consistency from your staff in the high school setting because you're not playing, best of 3, best of 5, best of 7, but still to have that flowing and have reliability like that, it's huge.
So Evan O'Brien, first pitch swinging, left-handed batter, and this one hits off the heel of the glove of the third baseman, Baker. And O'Brien is aboard. It's the third base runner of the game for the Braves. Let's see how that one's scored. I'm guessing that's going to be an error on Baker. We'll wait for the official indication, but guessing that's going to be an error on Baker. So O'Brien's aboard with 1 away. We're back to the top of the order, and Ethan Norris. First pitch swinging is Norris high into the air, short right field. Coming on as Ash, camping underneath it. One hands it for the out, 2 away.
Just the second base runner of the proceedings for the Braves.
Yeah, I guess the fielder's choice at the end of the inning does not count. Good point. Second base runner. Is indeed an error on Baker that allowed O'Brien to reach. 2 away. Here's Andrew O'Brien. Amadeo working quickly here in this top of the third. No score. Royals will have 7, 8, 9 due up. On call backhanded that pitch to knock it down and keep it in front. This day in baseball history, Jimmy, we're here not just to describe and observe, but we're also here to educate. And, of course, on April 15th, when we start a baseball in history conversation, we have to start with Jackie Robinson Day.
Of course.
This date in 1947, Jackie Robinson, as this pitch taken on the inside corner for a strike, he 1-1. Jackie Robinson integrating Major League Baseball on this date, 1947.
Plenty of resources to learn, catch up, and revisit Robinson's story.
Pitch fouled off the foot The left-handed hit O'Brien. I guess what I had forgotten, I think of Jackie Robinson playing primarily, at least early in his career, playing second base.
Sure.
Playing alongside Pee Wee Reese in the middle of that infield for the Brooklyn Dodgers. But what I did not realize, and the first game that he played on this date in 1947, he played first base in his first day in the big leagues for the Brooklyn Dodgers. So he played on first base, played first base in the field. There'll be no throw down to second as O'Brien has an uncontested stolen base. Evan O'Brien down to second with the steal.
But my favorite reference of all of them, or at least, the entertaining and the late Chadwick Boseman in the role, but 42, Harrison Ford in that as well. The dramatization.
As Krusty Branch Rickey.
Indeed.
Here's a ground ball to second base. Sam Rader's got it. Throw to first for the out. We'll continue this discussion of Jackie Robinson on the other side of this break. But in the top of the third, the Braves go quietly. Error in the inning on the Royals, and the Braves strand one. We're through 2.5 here at La Pinta. We're scoreless back at the bottom of the third. You're listening to the Roncalli Royals on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Comes to physical therapy, you have the freedom to choose your provider. At Indiana Physical Therapy, our experienced therapists will work with you to create a personalized treatment plan tailored to your needs. Whether you're recovering from injury, managing a chronic condition, or looking to improve your sports performance, we've got you covered. Take control of your health and schedule your appointment today at indianapt.com or call us at 317-449-2333.
Brown, Jimmy Cook back with you here at La Pinta Field. We go to the bottom of the third in a scoreless game. Circle City Conference baseball action, Roncalli and Brebeuf. Royals will have hitters 7, 8, 9 due up. Talking in the top of the third, how this is the anniversary of Jackie Robinson integrating Major League Baseball on this date in 1947. Robinson going 0 for 3 in his Major League Baseball debut for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Dodgers won that game, however, 5-3 over the Boston Braves.
You were referencing Harrison Ford playing Branch Rickey. My favorite line in that, he's trying to, and forgive me on the pronunciation here, but he's trying to recruit Bert Schotten to be the manager of the
it was Bert Schotten.
Of the Dodgers. And the line, deadpan delivery from Ford, roses and sleep are two wonderful things, Bert, but sleep you'd get when you're in your casket. Flowers look great on top of it, but you don't look like a dead man to me, Bert. And then, sure enough, he would wind up being the manager, but a great line from the always stoic Harrison Ford.
Indeed.
Perfect for that role.
Indeed. Luke Rader leads it off. The DH, the sophomore for the Royals, hitting from the right side, hitting .429 on the season. Takes a pitch up. Has to duck out of the way for ball one. Rader 6 out of 14 with a home run and a double to his credit here in the early season. Hitting the 7th spot in the order today.
Of course, Rob, a bit of, this is a strike delivered in there by Bigman, a bit of additional Jackie Robinson Day trivia, self-serving, of course. Can you tell me the last MLB player to don 42?
Mariano Rivera.
Indeed.
Mariano Rivera.
The Sandman himself. Always like that tidbit of trivia, as all of baseball, of course, retiring Robinson's number.
Everyone will have it on today.
Mm-hmm.
1-2. Pitch away. Count evens.
We had to get at least one Yankee reference.
I've got a couple here on the
right.
baseball history. There's a couple relevant Yankee-related pieces here on this April 15th. 2-2 pitch. Misses away again. Rader watched that one into the glove of the catcher, Gasper, and the count has gone full. Neither team has threatened. That ball hops up into the glove of Bingman, fumbles it, gets it back, and flips to the first baseman while jogging in that direction.
Just unlucky
for
there.
The out.
Unlucky for Rader. He smacked that. That's one of those where you'd like to, you'll be able to see the Amazon full-scale stats on bat speed and all that.
Ball
full
was,
force by it.
That ball was hit hard right back up the middle, but it took a hop off the front of the mound right into the glove of Bingman. it was ticketed to center field for a base hit, but instead it's a 1-3 put out in the scorebook, and there's one away.
Need that velo, Rob.
Indeed. Nico Amadeo stands in. Just 2 official at-bats on the season for Amadeo. He's 1 for 2. Took the first pitch away for a ball. That pitch is down. It's 2-0. Amadeo with the Ice Cube walk-up.
It's been a good mix.
The Lakers did indeed beat the Supersonics, and I believe that that song referenced a Lakers Supersonics game in April of the 1991-92 season.
Bet it wasn't 54 degrees, of course.
Pitch away, catches the corner, and the count evens.
That would have been -3 back then.
1 out, scoreless, bottom of the third. Brandon Worley coaching down at the third base box, pacing with his hands in his pockets. Mark Pieper down at first base. And Amadeo takes a pitch at the belt for called strike 3. That's the second strikeout of the game for Bingman. And Drew Nelson will head to the plate with 2 away. Nelson, the number 9 hitter for the Royals, hitting a robust .526, 10 out of 19 so far on the young season. Has a home run and a double among his 10 hits. Nelson over at first base today. Had a standout football season in the fall with team-high 383 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. You had a front row seat for that, did you, Jimmy?
Did indeed. Fun to see his continued development.
For suffering an arm injury during the football season a couple years ago, all the way back now. Pitch away, and Nelson has worked a 3-0 count.
Looking forward to getting another year.
He's a senior. He's a short timer, as they say.
Yep.
Leadoff hitter Shutley waits on deck if Nelson can get a 4th ball, and he does.
There you go.
So a 2-out walk. First walk issued by either pitcher.
You know, Rob, the old adage, borrowing from Sterling lore, it always starts with the walk. See if that rings true
we'll
here.
See if the Royals can get something going. Nelson does have 3 steals. We mentioned the Royal running game, which has been in full effect this year. Roncalli with 39 stolen bases and 47 tries. Royals had 5 steals last night, and that was a huge factor. And Nelson almost got caught leaning the wrong way. Gio Artizone was picked off in the first inning.
I know that yourself and the AD, David Lau, can speak to this, but I can't imagine there's not some type of frustration or discipline that would be doled out in Coach V's repertoire if you're getting above 1, I think, error on the base pass, let alone multiple if we walk down that road.
I don't know how that works. I'm not privy to those discussions. Nelson has a fairly sizable walking lead after what he perceived to be Bingman's move to the plate, and Bingman almost picked him off again. Nelson back diving. Has a full-blown oven mitt on his right hand that he could take out 8 pizzas from an oven with. Shutley showed bunt, pulled it back.
Might need that oven mitt with the heat that could be in store if you're getting picked off at first.
Yep. 2-0 the count. And Nelson goes. Shutley swings through the pitch. Throw 1 hop second base. Nelson timed his jump correctly and finds himself in scoring position with a 2-1 count on Shutley and 2 away. So first stolen base of the game. We mentioned how effective that was last night. Roncalli used the stolen base to get a critical insurance run.
And that was your point earlier, Rob, about
last night.
All that worry on the base paths. Well, that's how they've got this 7-game winning streak, is being aggressive and timing it right. That time Nelson does.
Shetley lifts this one high in the air to right field. Camping under it is Frank and squeezes it for out number 3. Boy, Shetley tossed that bat a long way. Good thing there's a fencing in front of the first base dugout. All hands on deck over there. Royals strand a runner. No runs, no hits. No errors and 1 left. We're through 3 and we're scoreless. 4th inning around the bend next. You're listening to and watching Roncalli Baseball on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk-Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk-Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk-Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
Rob Brown, Jimmy Cook back with you at La Pinta Field on the campus of Roncalli High School. Scoreless through 3 innings of play. Nico Amadeo on for his 4th inning of work. Amadeo has yet to allow a hit and has struck out 5. Brebeuf will send up hitters 3, 4, 5 here in this top of the 4th. Happy you're with us on this breezy Tuesday night. Royals will be back at it tomorrow night up on the north side in the rematch at Brebeuf. Beautiful ballpark up at Brebeuf on that north side. Kind of cut out of the woods.
Haven't had the opportunity up there for baseball.
Ballpark does not drain well, though, up there.
You know what?
The drainage is not ideal up there, unless they've made some changes.
I'll touch on that in a second.
Anthony Susha stands in, struck out swinging his first time up. Susha slated to play at Trinity University, which is a high-end Division III program in San Antonio. Chopped wide of the bag at third. Baker tried to backhand it to no avail off the heel of his glove, and Artizone will scamper into foul territory to pick up the stray baseball, but Susha's aboard. As the leadoff batter, we'll see how that's scored. That was hit sharply to the backhand side of the third baseman, Baker. That may be scored a hit. I don't know. We'll see. We know for sure, though, that for the first time today, Brebeuf has a leadoff batter on. Here's Sobek. Grounded into a fielder's choice to end the first at Sobek. And that is scored an error on Baker. Runner goes. Throw down is high and wide, and Susha has a stolen base, his first of the season.
The reference about the drainage there at Brebeuf, I can tell you it hasn't changed, or at least it's not tropical storm proof, because if you may recall, when the Royals on the football side, one of the only games in town still playing during the remnants of the hurricane in October,
bunted foul.
Got an opportunity to peek because we were in the wellness center over there for our setup just above the south end zone. Might as well have been part of the Atlantic in terms of the amount of water that was on those diamonds. So,
yes.
Still haven't figured that out, the drainage side of things.
2-1, pitch fouled back, and the count evens.
Though in their defense, again, once-in-a-lifetime type weather.
I'm not sure anybody could devise a drainage system to deal with the rain we had that particular weekend in late September. One and two the count. Lifted high in the air, back of second. Shortstop Artizone is over, calling, and makes the catch, one away. Just to the back of the dirt in short center field, right behind second base. So Sobek pops out to the shortstop Artizone, one away, and Susha remains at second. Here's the pitcher, Josh Bingman, struck out swinging to lead off the second base in his first time up. Amadeo takes a peek at second. Artizone, the shortstop, dancing around behind. Pitch deflected by on-call. Throw down to third, and Susha's in there standing. Well, that was a close play. Susha opted not to slide, and that almost was a foolish gamble that cost him, but Susha in there just barely. So that's going to go in, I think, as a wild pitch. We'll see. But either way, Susha's down there at third.
He never even gave a hint at sliding, Rob.
No.
Your point, he was going to try to get in standing the whole way.
That scored a wild pitch as the ball hit the dirt first. So first time either team has had a runner at third. That pitch grooved right in for a strike, and it's 1-2. So Susha, the first player to reach third base for either team, one away, and the infield comes in for Roncalli with one out. Amadeo would love a strikeout here. 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got it. That'll put the infield back to normal depth. Huge strikeout for Amadeo to put the infield back to normal depth. 2 away.
6 Ks for him tonight, Rob.
Ooh.
But boy, you're right. Did he need that to rewrite the proceedings here in the 4th?
Baker will stay in at third, even with the bag, but the middle infielders will go back to normal depth. Artizone at short, Sam Rader at second. And Drew Nelson will go back to his normal position at first base, a couple steps behind the bag. Here's the second baseman, Nate Marcus, number 6 hitter. Grounded to short his first time up. Takes a pitch at the knees, a strike. 2 away, top of the 4th in a scoreless game. Amadeo looking to work his way out of this one. Swing and a miss. He took something off, did Amadeo, and Marcus was way out front of that one. Amadeo ahead in the count. Has a little bit of wiggle room here. And Marcus got out front and pushed it into left field for a base hit, and that'll put the Braves on the board. Only Marcus just pushed it out into left field, lifted it over the left side of the infield and in front of the left fielder Hayworth. Nate Marcus with the RBI single. His 3rd RBI of the season, and the Braves are on the board 1-0.
Well, you feel there for Amadeo. He put his hands on his head immediately after that pitch because he had wiggle room, as you mentioned, ahead in the count 0-2 was his first offering. Here is fouled off 0-1, but just a nice piece of hitting chasing after that was Marcus for the RBI, and as you mentioned, Rob, Braves score first, 1-0.
So Amadeo was ahead in the count 0-2, and credit to Marcus for just lifting that pitch into the outfield for the base hit. Frank shows bunt, offered up, missed it, and now again Amadeo ahead in the count 0-2. One nothing to score. Brebeuf has grabbed the lead. 2 outs in the inning. In on the hands, and Frank able to fight it back to the fence. Oh, 2. That pitch missed away. Amadeo still ahead in the count, 1-2. Fastball up high, and Frank swung right through it. So Amadeo strikes out 2 in the inning, but the Braves get the game's first run in the inning. 1 run on 1 hit. There was an error, and 1 left. We're through 3.5. Brebeuf leads this one 1-0. Royals will have 2-3-4 up on the other side. After this break, you're watching and listening to Roncalli Baseball on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Well, 2-3-4 due up for the Royals here in this bottom of the 4th as Brebeuf gets a run in the top of the 4th, first run of the ball game. 1-0 our score. Gio Artizone, Colin Ash, and Sam Rader due up for the Royals. Rob Brown alongside Jimmy Cook. Happy you're with us on this Tuesday. This day in baseball history, Jimmy, Reggie Jackson.
Oh, Mr.
1972.
October.
So Reggie Jackson, that was back during his run with the A's, when the A's won 3 straight titles, 72, 73, 74.
Mm-hmm.
On this date in 1972, in the A's 4-3 win over the Twins in 11 innings, Reggie Jackson was the first big leaguer to play in a game with a mustache in 58 years.
Wow. I feel like that, and maybe it is in baseball circles, that should be a bigger deal than it is. That's
Reggie Jackson, in this day, 1972, the first big leaguer to play in a big league game with a mustache. As Gio Artizone, first pitch swinging, hits this one a long way to center field. Going back to center fielder, it's over his head, and one hops the fence. Artizone in, standing up, first pitch swinging. He hit that one a ton over the head of Anthony Suchet into center field, that one hop the fence to straightaway center just to the left of the flagpole. Oh, my.
just the carry on that ball.
Artizone got that one up into the wind and hit an absolute rocket into center field.
Battling with the wind and everything else out there. That was nice. That's a nice piece of hitting.
So Gio Artizone with his third extra base hit of the season, second double. Moves his hitting streak to 9 games, 9 games. Here's Colin Ash, swings through a breaking pitch, strike 1. So Artizone coming in, Gio Artizone and Colin Ash, the man at the plate, the only 2 Royals to hit safely in all 8 games. Artizone has gotten his hit, so he is intact, 9 out of 9. Ash has done his job as well. Single then was thrown out trying to stretch it into a double in the first. So both players have successfully kept their hitting streaks going. Ash would love a single here to tie the game. He's down on the count 0-2. That pitch away. So prior to today's date in 1972, the last player prior to Reggie Jackson to wear facial hair in a big league game was Wally Schrang for the Philadelphia A's in 1914.
Handlebar Pete would have been my guess, but that's fine.
There you go.
How about it, man?
Ash hits one off the end of the bat right out into left field. 2 steps to his right. Evan O'Brien secures it for the out, 1 away. So,
okay, now I got to.
So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about that. The fans in Oakland were so enthusiastic about it. The owner, Charlie Finley, offered other players on the team $100 to grow facial hair, and by the next week, half the guys on the team had facial hair. Here's Sam Rader, grounded to second, first time up. Takes a pitch at the bell to strike.
A lot of people don't know this, but when you account for inflation, they're $2.5 million per player.
Yeah,
actually,
exactly.
Believe it or not. Don't check the math.
Inflation was rough in the 70s. you dramatically underestimate what inflation was in the 70s. Gio Artizone at second, 1 away. Royals trailing. Rader hits this one a ton into right field. Going back is Frank. This one a one-hop the wall. Artizone being waved home. Sam Rader's in standing up into second base, and he's tied the game with a one-out double. Sam Rader with an opposite field double to right field. His second double of the year, RBI number 10. And the Royals have knotted this game up at 1 in the 4th inning.
And again, Rader, you look at 2 Royals hitters so far in this inning, getting pretty much all of it, and that time it looked like the wind factored in more to it for Rader, a little bit more carry. That could have been nearly a porch job in certain stadiums. Not so much here at LaPinta Field, but all the same, he'll take the RBI double and tie this game up.
Here's Maddox Hayworth. Rader goes, first pitch. There'll be no throw. The pitcher, Bingman, paid absolutely no attention to Sam Rader.
Nope.
Rader got a walking lead and cruised into second base with a head-first slide for his team-leading 10th stolen base.
They talk about at the major league level those jump starts into stealing bases. You said it right, Rob. It wasn't a jump start. That was a full-on walk into a sprint and no look over whatsoever for Bingman. Rader capitalizes.
Hayworth chops that one foul back to the screen. So now Rader at third, 1 out. Game tied. Corners are in. Now everybody in on the infield for the Braves. Wes Neese has come out of the dugout to bring his infield in. Hayworth trying to chop one. He hits it over the head of the second baseman. Dumped into right field, a base hit.
Man.
Rader will walk in to give the Royals the lead. 2-1 the score. Hayworth, hands in the air at first base. His RBI single has put the Royals in front.
It's a dream as a hitter. That's so hard to do, but when you have the infield called in like that, if you're just able to summon a little bit of accuracy and just pop one up over the head of the infield, make everybody look foolish, that always feels great. Hard to do at any level, but successfully done there by Hayworth to give the Royals the lead.
That was perfectly placed. Looped it right over the head of the second baseman, Marcus. Off the end of the bat. Royals have gone opposite field here a couple times.
Yeah.
Right-handed hitting Rader with the double off the wall, and then Hayworth went opposite field with the right field single. Wes Neese has come out to the mound to talk to his pitching staff, or to his infield and his battery.
And not that you'd expect anything less, Rob, given this 7-game winning streak, but give all the credit to that dugout in this Royals offense. You're going to get punched in the mouth when you felt like Amadeo has 0-2, a strike away from getting out of the inning. They give up the run, and then the bats are just like, hey, we got you. Don't worry about it. We'll answer in the bottom half, and they've done just that with plenty of opportunities for more damage to be done, leading 2-1 with just 1 out here in the bottom half of the fourth.
Well, Tony Vittorio is going to send a pinch runner out for Hayworth. It's Austin Walker. And in his usual trademark fashion, Vittorio coming out of the dugout, walking like he rode a horse here to the ballpark.
He has that trademarked. A lot of people know that. But
He does. He does. And the beauty of it is I've known him long enough that I can get away with saying that.
Yeah, well,
so there you go.
that's half the reason I call you up every spring, to be honest with you.
Here's Luke Baker, grounded to third to end the inning, his first time up. Walker 2 for 2 in pinch running opportunities in stolen bases. And I think with 1 out, it's safe to say he's not in there to pinch run and to stand on first base. He's going to look for an opportunity.
He's doing more than Ken Griffey Jr. at the Masters, what you're saying?
Yes. Those were some spectacular photos.
Beautiful. There was
how about Ken Griffey Jr. being that good at something else?
Beautiful, right?
Being world class at a second thing. That's like That's like what they used to say about Ted Williams being one of the 5 greatest fly fishermen who ever lived, and one of the greatest fighter pilots who ever. Ted Williams is one of the 5 greatest people at 3 different things.
Quite a baseball card.
Hitting a baseball, flying a fighter pilot, flying a fighter plane, and fly fishing.
That's not a bad 1, 2, 3.
He might be the greatest, one of the 5 greatest people to do 3 different activities or things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They were also talking about
0-2 pitch, and Baker swings through the letter high fastball. 2 away. 3rd strikeout of the game for Bingman. 2 away. Royals have plated 2 in the inning to take the lead after the Braves scored 1 in the top of the 4th. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's Luke Rader.
They were also talking about as well on baseball Twitter over the weekend, Randy Johnson, Ken Griffey Jr., you get enough Mariners together, you could have a whole AP press wing in photographs. Johnson also doing a side hustle.
Did I hear correctly that Luke Rader just came to the plate and John Cena's walk-up
music?
You
did correctly identify that.
John Cena's entrance music? Okay. Thought I heard that correctly. Swing and a miss on a pitch tailing away.
We got to be getting close to WrestleMania time of year. It's usually a springtime event, if I'm not mistaken.
Usually, yeah, absolutely. Got to be closing in. Bingman glances over at first. Walker's got a short lead over there. And Rader fists this one in the air, and it's going to drop in front of the right fielder. Walker had to hold up to see if it would be caught, so Walker will advance no further than second, but a bloop single for Luke Rager with 2 outs.
And you're nitpicking here, admittedly, on the base running there, but given situational baseball with 2 outs already, if you're Walker, you'd like to just run through that because ultimately it doesn't matter if it's caught or not. You're not worried about double play action. All a caught ball would do is end the inning. But instead, presence of mind and his thought process there, just worried about causing damage that wasn't warranted. He stays cautiously at second instead of running through, and now the Royals in a slightly tighter spot with runners on first and second.
And now Tony Vittorio making another move, sending Johnny Jaffe to pinch hit for Nico Amadeo with 2 outs.
Soon to be, I guess he is technically now, when he graduates, RMN alum, Johnny Jaffe.
Saw him down in the cage pregame, taking batting practice. First pitch swinging, and that will get through into left field, a base hit. Jaffe's first hit of the season. Here comes the runner to the plate. The throw is wide of the plate, and Walker scores. And the ball gets away from home plate and hung up between home and third base. Diving back to the bag, he's thrown out. Is Luke Rader. Luke Rader was hung up in a rundown and is thrown out in the rundown between third and home, but Jaffe's single will score Walker with the run. The Royals get a crooked number, scoring 3 in the bottom of the 4th to take the lead 3-1, and that will be the lead as we head to the 5th. Jimmy's got the play-by-play coming back at you. On the other side, we are watching and listening to Roncalli Royals baseball presented by Gallagher's.
When it comes to coin laundry, Laundry and Tan Connection stands out as Indiana and Kentucky's biggest and best. With cleaner, more spacious and user-friendly facilities, they lead the way in laundry services. But that's not all. They're also the area's premier tanning salon, offering top-notch tanning facilities at competitive prices and the best hours around. Discover why Laundry and Tan Connection is the top choice for both laundry and tanning by visiting laundryandtan.com today.
You had your eye appointment this year? No? Well, it's time to make that appointment. Call Vision Quest Eye Care with location in Greenwood. Dr. Christopher Browning is a Greenwood native and Roncalli parent. Dr. Browning has years of experience and can make sure your Vision Quest Eye Care appointment leaves you seeing the world clearer. Call today, 317-386-7492. Yes, call Dr. Browning at Vision Quest Eye Care, 317-386-7492, or online at visionquesteyecare.com.
Well, to clean up the end of the inning there, the Royals got 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and 1 left as Noah Bergstrom leads off this bottom of the top of the 5th, rather. And on that last play, Luke Rader was thrown out 7-5-2 as the throw came to the plate, ricocheted off the backstop. The catcher picked it up and then threw Rader out at third base, trying to scramble back to the bag. So with the count 1-1 to the number 8 hitter, Noah Bergstrom. Back with the play-by-play here in the top of the 5th. Here's Jimmy.
Well, Rob, I thank you. Royals in front 3-1. Pitch is grounded towards the shortstop hole. Artizone Fields throws to first in time. And thrown out is Bergstrom. 0 for 2 now on the day. Is Bergstrom. Brings up Evan O'Brien. Reached on an error his first time back in the 3rd. We talked about it, though, as the Royals started to turn in runs. Heck of a response by the bats of that Roncalli offense after Amadeo gives up a run with 2 outs and an 0-2 count in his favor. Initial offering to O'Brien, swung on and missed. Count 0-1. The bats immediately pick him up, though, and plate 3 across. But once again, base running costing the Royals what could have been a monumental inning for them. Bunt laid down towards the shortstop hole. Throw to first, not going to have a play. It's thrown anyway, but not going to have a play because of the speed of O'Brien. He reaches. And the Braves have their first base runner of the inning.
Just the second base hit of the game for Brebeuf. Bunt single for O'Brien.
Brings us back to the top of the order for the Braves. Ethan Norris up. 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out in the first, flied out in the 3rd. Runner on first, one out here. Pitch in there for a strike. Count 0-1.
The junior right-hander Charlie Cotter loosening in the Brebeuf bullpen.
Stepping out briefly is Norris. Now he'll get set and step back in.
There was a time, Jimmy, when I could eyeball the bullpen and identify who was loosening without using binoculars, but that time has passed.
Well, Rob, we've been all about age-old adages today. That pitch is grounded off of the mound. It's caught on a hop by Artisan. High throw to first is Wild. Advancing to third is O'Brien. So he took second easily as he moved along that grounder, but then the errant throw from Artisan to Nelson that pulled him off the bag allows O'Brien to advance to third. So runners on the corners now for the Braves. The one out here in the top of the fifth. But the adage to throw out there, RB, Father Time, undefeated.
No question.
Brings up Andrew O'Brien. A walk back in the first, grounded out back in the third. Runner goes from first to second. Throw is not in time, and he lost the ball behind him. And walking in to score is O'Brien. That throw over, it was bobbled while trying to apply the tag. The ball came loose when on-call threw over to second and heads up base running there, seeing the ball got behind him, did O'Brien to advance in and score and bring the Braves within a run, 3-2, and now a runner on second to boot. 1-0. Is grounded towards the right side and bobbled again this time by Rader. So everybody's safe. Runners on the corners as Brebeuf continuing to build up some run-scoring opportunities here in a action-packed top of the fifth.
Well, some uncharacteristic fielding issues. That's the third error in the inning for the Royals as the Brebeuf now has him in the corner. So you had Evan Norris reach via error on the Artisan throw.
Now you have Susha up, the team's best hitter. Throw over to first is grabbed successfully by Nelson, but back safely is O'Brien.
So to clean up the scoring, Norris reached via an error on the throw, and then Norris steals second, but then O'Brien came home.
Initial offering to Susha is foul tips off of home. Count 0-1.
Actually, that'll be on a double steal, so that's not an error. And then Andrew O'Brien reached on the error on Sam Rader. So two errors in the inning on the Royals.
Runners on the corner, one out here in the top of the fifth. Royals clinging to a 3-2 lead. Amadeo looks in to on-call. Throws over to first. Easily back is Andrew O'Brien.
So the Royals have committed 4 errors in the ball game, which Roncalli came in with the team fielding percentage of north of .960.
0-1. In there for a strike. Based on the indication, it was on the pitch location, not for Susha going around. He didn't like the call. And for what it's worth, Rob, the power of Susha, the way the wind was blowing a second ago, could have some carry out there. Just of situational note with runners on the corners here. Throw over to first.
Great job by on-call to frame that pitch.
Yep.
And just past 7 o'clock, the sun's setting. Colin Ash really fighting the sun out in right field. You see him shading. He's got sunglasses on, but also using his glove to shade
0-2 upstairs, 1-2.
his vision when the sun is not behind the clouds.
Royals lead 3-2 here, top of the fifth, but the Braves threatening, already scored 1 here in the inning. Runners on the corners, 1-2 to Susha. Runner goes from first to second, swung on and missed, so strikeout for Susha, but advancing from first to second is O'Brien. The K marks the 8th of the evening.
He's 7.
7th of the evening, I beg your pardon.
Oh, you're right. Yes, it's 8.
8th of the evening for Amadeo. Runners on second and third, 2 outs, trying to get out of this with just 1 run of damage. Pitch is wild to the right, but a diving effort by On-Call prevented any entertainment of Norris being the tying run coming home.
Yeah, On-Call saved a run there. That ball was ticketed for the backstop.
Runners ready to go on contact with 2 outs. The 1-0 to Sobek is swung on and missed. I'll say he foul-tipped it, actually. Either way, the result's the same. A strike, count 1-1. One. Upstairs, 2-1. Amadeo had an opportunity earlier with 2 outs to avoid damage and wound up giving up a shot into left field that gave the Braves the early 1-0 lead, trying to not have a repeat here. 2-1. Fouled back, 2-2, and Amadeo a strike away from holding the Royals' lead at 1. And what would be a beautiful workaround out of trouble for Amadeo. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on second and third. Runners lead and ready to go on contact. Amadeo to Sobek, 2-2. Outside, gets behind On-Call. A run will score, and we're tied at 3. Advancing as well to third is O'Brien. So just like that, the Royals lead gone. They're trying to get out of here with just even playing cards at 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. A walk, not the worst thing in the world. As the main order of business is avoiding that lead-altering run from scoring. 3-2. Ricochet's wild pitch. And advancing to score and give the Braves the lead is O'Brien. It's also ball 4, wild pitch anyway. Ball 4 moves Sobek over to first, but the Braves have come all the way back to lead at 4-3.
Well, things have gotten a little sideways here in this inning.
You can say that again. Brings up Bingman. Initial offering to him is low. Count 1-0. Runner off first is Sobek. Braves lead at 4-3. Throw to first. Not in time. Pitch inside, count 2-0.
So going back through the official scoring, only one play was scored in error. The ball that Artizone fielded off the mound,
pitch
that
in there for a
ricocheted off
strike.
the mound, was scored a base hit. So just one ball was scored in error here in the inning. That was the ball fielded by Rader.
2-1. Fell back 2-2. Second opportunity this inning for Amadeo to try to get the Royals off the field, let their bats try to claw them back out. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Throw to first, high, but secured by Nelson. We'll get set to do it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bingman awaits with a runner off first. Healthy lead there. 2-2. Hammered, third base side, and bobbled into left field. So the inning continues for the Braves. They'll have runners on first and second with 2 outs as Baker tried to backhand that. He's had a couple problems there in the hot corner and could not do it. That one ricocheted into left. And fortunately, with how it ricocheted, no room for any more advancement than first and second for Brebeuf. But the inning continues. We're going to have Stephen Neese as a courtesy runner for Bingman. And it brings up Nate Marcus, 1 for 2 on the day. RBI single, last inning. Pitch. In there tightly on the inside corner. Count 0-1. Runners lead, first and second with 2 outs here. Top of the 5th. Royals trailing now 4-3. And time called very late by Marcus, but granted.
Marcus 1 for 2 with the RBI single in the 4th.
Amadeo looks into on call. 0-1. Upstairs 1-1.
Luke Green getting loose in the Royals bullpen.
Should be noted for those keeping score at home. No binoculars needed for my broadcast partner that time.
Only because I was told pregame that Luke Green would be the first pitcher to get up and throw.
All right. Hey, if you want to take away the credit, that's fine. And a balk is called. A little bit of dancing out there by Amadeo. He kind of went into his pitching motion or faked like it, and a balk is called, so the runners will move on. And Coach Vittorio is going to head out to the mound.
I think we may see a change here. At least a visit to give Green some extra time if he needs it.
And Green will take advantage of those moments to get a couple extra throws in down there.
But this has been an uncharacteristically loose inning for the Royals defensively, with 2 errors and 2 wild pitches, and just not been something that we've seen a lot of from Roncalli here during this 7-game winning streak. And it's allowed Brebeuf to regain the lead and put 3 on the board.
Well, whether because he's not ready or because he's letting Amadeo ride, Amadeo will stay out there. 1-1 to Marcus. Pitch in there for a strike. Count 1-2.
Well, I also don't think he's going to make a change.
Right.
That's
a good point.
I should have pointed that out.
That's a good point.
I should have pointed that out at the outset.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Amadeo trying to get out of this. Pitch. Grounded towards him. Caught on 1 hop. He'll lob to first to Nelson to end the inning. But the damage is done. The Braves climb all the way back to push 3 across. They lead it now 4-3. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th, see if the Royals bats can bail them out again. You're listening to Roncalli Royals basketball on the Roncalli Royals baseball. First time we've done that in the spring on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Attention professionals in construction, industrial, and service industries. Quality Supply and Tool is your trusted source for wholesale products, offering top-notch tools and expertise across 4 locations in Indiana and Kentucky. Whether tackling a big project or needing reliable supplies, they've got you covered. Discover how Quality Supply and Tool can enhance your next project by visiting QualitySupplyandTool.com today. Get the quality you need to get the job done right.
Back at La Pinta Field, a degree of temperature loss since first pitch at 6 o'clock. 53 degrees, cloudy skies, and even cloudier still for the Royals as errors have plagued them throughout the last couple of innings, no more so than last inning. Jimmy Cook alongside Rob Brown. Rob, infield errors galore, cost the Royals at a tune of 3 runs. Now they have a 4-3 hole try to climb out of here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, in that last inning, Brebeuf got 3 runs on just 2 hits, 2 Roncalli errors, but Royals still have 9 outs to work with. 3 more trips to the plate here. 9-1-2 due up for the Royals here in this bottom of the 5th.
It'll be Drew Nelson, who walked his first time. Pitch in there for a strike, count 0-1. As Rob mentioned, 9-1-2 in the order for Roncalli due up, and a lot of that momentum starts with Shutley and Artizone. If you're Nelson, pitch is swung on, hit in the air, skying into right, not deep. Back to gather it is Frank, and there's 1 away. But as I was going to mention there, moot point now is a fly out there to right field for Nelson. Boy, if Nelson get on, then you really get your hot hitters in Shutley and Artizone. You're off to the races. No such luck, but they don't need base runners to do damage. Let's go back to the top of the order for Rudy Shutley. Initial offering misses inside, low, count 1-0.
Rudy 0 for 2.
Bingman's still out there, 3 runs given up so far tonight. Pitch upstairs, count 2-0.
So in this day, Jimmy, 1976, April 15th, the remodeled Yankee Stadium opens.
Ooh.
1976, after the Yankees played 3 seasons at Shea Stadium.
Man.
You were aware of that, right?
I yes and no. I had forgotten that, but yes, I was.
They closed the old stadium after the 72 season. They played 3 years at Shea Stadium, while the original Yankee Stadium, as Shutley draws the one-out walk, the original Yankee Stadium was gutted and repurposed, remodeled.
So did they, any word to the rumors of them selling T-shirts that was the house that Ruth rebuilt, or no, did they not go that far? No.
Well, but the Yankees, in this day, 1976, it reopened. The Geo AutoZone stands in. Yankees beat the Twins 11-4 in the remodeled Yankee Stadium in this date, 1976.
I'll add to that fun fact here in a second. Throw to first, not in time. Diving back is Shutley. Some historians will say the Yanks have not lost to the Twins since. I joke about their playoff dominance against them over the better part of the last 20 years.
That's a fair point.
Pitch upstairs to Artizone. Count 1-0.
What I found cool, though, in researching this, on that day, they brought out any of the living 1923 Yankees who played in the very first game in the original stadium, and they trotted out Bob Shockey, who was the
pitch. Runner goes in there safely. Is Shutley. Going to have dirt on the jersey for that one, diving head first to avoid being thrown out, but he is aboard, and the Royals now have the tying run in scoring position. Anyway, give me the name one more time.
Bob Shockey, who was the winning pitcher in the 1923 season opener in the very first game in the original Yankee Stadium. Bob Shockey threw out the first pitch on this date in 1976, the remodeled Yankee Stadium, the original Yankee Stadium.
Well, I have a couple more one-liners to add there. Throw to second is not in time. Shutley back standing. I'd be curious, since they renovated and reopened. Shout out to fellow class of 2013 grad Nick Kuntz. We always take a bros trip for some Yankee games. I wonder if they had reopening day shirts for that remodel. And I say that to say, as the 1-1 from Bingman is upstairs, count 2-1. Reopening day terminology reused 4 years ago now this time of year. They had reopening day shirts. We didn't plan it this way, but went to Yankee Stadium for what was effectively reopening day, a 3-game set with the A's. It was the first time they allowed fans back at Yankee Stadium post-COVID. So a little reopening day branding was utilized there.
There you go.
And in terms of random wardrobe elements, I have from a grab bag. You can buy a $25 bag from the gift shop. You don't know what's going to be inside of it. 2-1 upcoming to Artizone. Shutley off second. Pitch is hammered foul first base side. Inside of that grab bag, you have like quirky items. Sometimes you have an item with a misspelling or whatever. I have a T-shirt that was made for actual opening day during COVID that was never given out. Yankees Blue Jays, April of 2020. That's one of the more unique items there in the
there you go.
Cook Sports wardrobe. 2-2. Skied foul first base side. Count 2-2. Any quirky or odd shirts or piece of memorabilia in your archive there, RB?
No. No, not really.
Come on.
Not really. I was thinking about one particular item. I can't really. It's got an obscenity on it. I can't really talk about it on the air.
Right. Save it for the walk to the car.
I wish I still had it.
2-2. Upstairs, 3-2. And Artizone is
it would have been
full.
especially appropriate had the Pacers been playing the team based in Detroit in the first round.
Okay. All right.
It involved a certain logo and the a badly trademark infringed Spuds McKenzie.
Oh, all right.
on a baseball
All right,
hat.
then.
and we'll leave it at that.
It has not survived multiple Rob Brown moves over the years.
Not.
That's unfortunate.
I lost that sometime in my mid-20s.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have.
3-2, low ball 4. So the hot hitting / aggressiveness of Shutley and Artizone does their job. They're aboard first and second with one out here in the bottom of the fifth. Royals still trail 4-3, and they'll turn to Colin Ash, who's 1 for 2 on the day. You'll remember he was trying to stretch a single to a double back in the first, was thrown out, and then flying out to left last inning.
Boy, this is exactly what you want if you're Tony Vittorio. 1 out, 2 on, and your best hitter coming to the plate. And Wes Neese is going to come out and make a pitching change. He's going to lift his senior starter and bring on the junior right-hander, Charlie Cotter.
Well, we'll step aside for 30 seconds while the pitching change occurs. Braves lead it 4-3, with the Royals threatening with runners aboard first and second here in the bottom of the fifth on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Looking for top-tier financial management? Jason Werner, a proud Roncalli member of the class of 2005, is your guy. With extensive experience managing portfolios for Fortune 500 companies, Jason and his team know how to handle your assets with precision and confidence, ensuring you not only feel secure but see real growth. Don't settle for less. Visit wernerfinancial.com to set up your consultation today and take charge of your financial future.
Welcome back to La Pinta Field. Well, a bit of trickeration there from the Braves. No pitching change is made. A wild pitch on the initial delivery to Ash, and the runners will advance to second and third. So the tying run 90 feet away and the go-ahead run in scoring position as the Braves elect to trust Bingman, and at least early returns prove costly as the runners move on the wild pitch.
Well, Wes Neese faked us out. He called Cotter in from the bullpen. We all thought he was making a pitching change, and he elected to stay with Bingman. Now the corners will come in with 1 out.
You think it was one of those Garrett Cole's Bingman yelled at him like, "You stay there," type deals? Think that's what it was? 1-0 is upstairs 2-0.
I think he was basically going to give him one batter. I think he called Cotter in and said, "Hey, I'm going to give you one batter here, and if not, Cotter's ready to go."
This is embarrassing. I can't remember. There's a famous clip from the 90s Yankees of someone doing that to Torrey. I don't know if it was Pettit.
Probably Pettit.
It was Cone.
That'd be my guess.
I can't remember. I lean Pettit, though.
Pettit would be my guess.
2-0 to Ash down there in the middle for a strike, count 2-1. Royals threatening with runners on second and third and 1 out here, bottom of the fifth. Trying to respond well after giving up 3 in the top half. Pitch upstairs, 3-1. It could have also been David Wells, but
that's a good one too. Yeah, I
can't remember.
That's a good guess.
They show it about once a year on Yes Network, but I just cannot remember, which makes me lean Cone because he's a part of that broadcast team. Anyway, second and third for the Royals, 1 out. In the bottom of the fifth, pitch upstairs, and he walked him. So the bases are juiced for Sam Rader.
Now here comes the pitching change, because this will be the second mound visit of the inning, and Neese has to make the change now.
No room for pump fakes this time, and Bingman asked for it, unable to deliver. And so now the Braves will be forced to go to the pin. We'll step aside for 30 real pitching change seconds this time. Be back. Royals threatening, bases loaded here. Bottom of the fifth. They trail 4-3. It could change with one swing of the bat when we come back on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Gallagher's Pub and Eatery, your go-to spot before, after, and during all Roncalli events. As a family-owned and operated establishment, we take pride in offering a warm, friendly atmosphere where you can savor delicious pizza, fresh salads, mouth-watering wings, and a wide selection of ice-cold beverages. With 25 smart TVs around the venue, you'll catch every moment of the action and never miss a sporting event. Whether you're gearing up for the big game or celebrating a win, Gallagher's is the place to be.
Back at La Pinta Field with Rob Brown, I'm Jimmy Cook. Rob, let's walk through the adjustments now being made by the Braves with the pitching change.
Well, the new pitcher is Charlie Cotter, the junior right-hander, making his third appearance, first in relief. Cotter 1-0 with a 2.42 ERA, 8 2/3 innings pitched, allowed 5 runs, 3 earned, 11 hits, 12 strikeouts, and 4 walks. Last appearance was a start against Cathedral 4 days ago. Got a no decision, went 3 2/3, 5 runs allowed, 3 hits, or 3 earned, 8 hits, 6 strikeouts, and 4 walks. Josh Bingman will stay in the game, and it looks like he's going to stay in the infield. We'll see where he goes. The second baseman, Nate Marcus, came off the field. That does not necessarily mean that Bingman will go to second, but we do know that Marcus has come off. So we'll see where Bingman lands after Cotter finishes his warm-up tosses. We do know that there's one out, and the Royals have the bases loaded. Rudy Shetley's at third base, Gio Artizone at second, Colin Ash at first, and Sam Rader, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI double in the fourth, is at the plate, and Josh Bingman is indeed at second base. So that's your changes here defensively with the pitching change. And back with the play-by-play, here's Jimmy.
Thanks, Rob. Well, Sam Rader will have the opportunity to do the damage. He scored a run for the Royals back in the 4th inning. And can really do some damage here with the one swing of the bat. Bases loaded, 1 out. Connor looks into Gasper. Takes a deep breath. And delivers the initial offering. First pitch swinging and missing is Rader. Count 0-1.
Defenses was in, and they are still in, double play depth in the middle, but third baseman Sobek, even with the bag, and the first baseman O'Brien is in on the grass. He is way in as Andrew O'Brien.
0-1 to Rader is swung on in the air into right field, foul. First base side, I beg your pardon. Count 0-2. Bases loaded, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th, Royals threatening. Try to regain the lead here in a potentially heavy scoring 5th. Braves already did their part, 3 runs in the top half. Rader awaits. The 0-2 from Cotter. Misses.
That not by much.
And the count 1-2. That looked down the middle from our vantage point, but just off the plate.
Boy, Wes Neese wanted that pitch on the corner. He came out of the dugout, did Neese, and walked a couple steps down the fence line to talk toward Tim Wesley, our home plate umpire.
Can Rader make it matter? 1-2. Low, blocked successfully by Gasper, 2-2.
Maddox Hayworth waits on deck. Hayworth with an RBI single to his credit.
Rader steps back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bases loaded, 4-3 Braves. Royals threatening, 2-2. Swung on and missed. Rader down on strikes for the first time this evening. And with 2 down, here comes Maddox Hayworth. Scored back in the 4th. Grounded out back in the 2nd. Could use something here just for the Royals, man, you'd love to put at least 1 across. Not leave the bases loaded in a critical juncture of this game. Initial offering to Hayworth did not hook back into the zone. It's outside, or inside, I beg your pardon, for a ball. Count 1-0. Runners ready to go on contact for the Royals. No threats of being picked off. Everybody's playing back. One of those long grounders, potentially. 1-0. Upstairs, 2-0. Any closer there to Hayworth and be hit by pitch and put a run across.
Now you'd think at 2-0 that Cotter's got to come back to the zone here.
2-0. Finds the zone. Count 2-1. Left side of the plate. 2 balls, a strike, 2 outs. Braves lead at 4-3. Royals trying to capitalize. The bases loaded. Cotters, 2-1 to Hayworth. Wild, and it'll score a run. Moving up as well to second and third are Ash and Artizone, but Shutley scores on the wild pitch, and we're all tied at 4 here in the bottom of the 5th.
It's heads-up base running by Rudy Shutley. He was ready to go as soon as that pitch hit the dirt. Rudy already had a walking lead and was out past the cutout at third. Scored easily to tie the game. Now a base hit could score 2 with 2 outs.
And on Cotter's side of the ledger, there's now a place to put Hayworth. Behind in the count, 3-1. Pitch. Walked him. And he does just that. So the base is loaded again. The 4th walk of the inning given up by Braves pitching. And that'll bring up Luke Baker. Baker's had his struggles in the infield tonight, uncharacteristically. An opportunity to right that ship on the offensive side of the ledger and give the Royals the lead with one swing of the bat.
Yeah, the Royals have sent Baker's the 7th Royal to come to the plate, and they've only hit one ball out of the infield.
Yep.
That was Nelson's fly out to right.
Initial offering to Baker. Down the middle for a strike, count on 1.
That was Nelson's fly out to right to begin the inning. Otherwise, it's been 4 walks and a strikeout.
It always starts the walk. That's been the case here in the bottom half of the 5th. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bases are loaded. We're tied at 4. Pitch, low, misses that time.
Not by much.
To Baker. Count 1-1.
Well, Luke Green did not complete his warm-up tosses, and that was a while ago. So we'll see if Green will come out and pitch the 6th. This has been a long bottom of the 5th.
Cotter's 1-1. Swung on, hit in the air into left field. Underneath it is O'Brien to end the inning. But the walks and the wild pitch pushes 1 across for the Royals. They leave 3, but they'll take 1 across to bring us even at 4 apiece. We played 5 at the top of the 6th. We go. You're listening to Roncalli Royals Baseball on Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Discover the coin index in Greenwood. Have you inherited a coin collection you aren't sure what to do with? Are you interested in investing in precious metals? Then the coin index is your ultimate destination for coins and precious metals. We buy, sell, and appraise. Located at 857 North Madison Avenue, just south of the Greenwood Park Mall. For expert service and top-notch selection, visit us at coinindex.com. The Coin Index, your trusted partner in coins and precious metals.
Welcome back to La Pinta Field. We go to the top of the 6th, and a pitching change to go over, Rob.
Luke Green, the new pitcher for the Royals, coming on in relief. This is Luke's 5th appearance, all in relief. Luke, with no record to his credit, does have the Royals' only save of the season. 4.20 ERA, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 4 runs allowed, all earned, 5 hits, 12 strikeouts against 11 walks. Luke's last appearance was in relief against Kokomo here on Saturday. Went 1 1/3 innings, did not allow a hit or a run, and 3 of his 4 outs were recorded via strikeouts. So Luke Green on the mound, the left-hander, the senior for the Royals, making his 5th relief appearance of the season, and he'll face hitters 7, 8, 9 for Brebeuf in this 4-4 tie as we head to the 6th.
Thank you, Rob. For Roncalli and Brebeuf, called an inverse ball game. An inverse ball game for Roncalli and Brebeuf in that Braves score 1 in the 4th. Royals score 3 in that inning to take the lead, and then we flip it to the inverse. In the 5th, the Braves score 3. The Royals score 1 to take us where we're at, 4-4.
And we do have a defensive change for the Royals, Jimmy. I'll talk to you about at this first pitch.
Initial offering to Frank Bunt shown, fouled. First base side, 0-1 the count.
Royals making a defensive change. Maddox Hayworth has moved from left field to third base for the Royals. And coming in to play left field for the Royals is Will Manship. So Manship out in the left for Roncalli. And Manship will enter the game in the 6th spot in the batting order.
1-1. is low in the dirt. Count 2-1. Frank awaits. The 2-1 is off the plate. 3-1. Green looks into on call for the 2-1. Curves back across the middle of the plate, and we're full 3-2. All tied up at 4 here in the top of the 6th. The pitch. Called strike 3. Finds the inside corner. Crafty movement by Green. 1 away here in the top of the 6th. Brings up Noah Bergstrom, 0 for 2 on the day. Grounded out his last inning. Struck out back in the 3rd.
Bergstrom grounded to shortstop in the 5th, struck out in the 3rd. So 0 for 2 is Bergstrom.
Initial offering in there for a strike. Count 0-1. Green, 0-1 is hammered foul. First base side, 0-2. A lot of Circle City Conference implications potentially at stake over the next 2 days for both these clubs. Royals already with a win over Garin Catholic earlier in the season. 0-2, upstairs 1-2, but an opportunity against arguably your biggest foe or biggest test in the conference in Brebeuf to string together back-to-back wins. They'll play them up north tomorrow. It'd be huge. 1-2, nearly hit him. It was wild upstairs. Count 2-2. That one got away from Green. Two. Went around well off the plate, but a check swing attempt was not to be for Bergstrom. He'd already committed to swing. That was about 3 feet off the plate, but already committed to go, and he went around for the punch-out. Back-to-back Ks for Green. Brings back to the number 9 hitter now in Evan O'Brien.
After this first pitch, we'll give you the final pitching line on the starter, Nico Amadeo.
That one's off the plate, off the glove of on-call, but irrelevant, no base runner. So the count 1-0.
So now that Green is on in relief, we can close the books on the starter. So Amadeo, another fine outing, 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, but just 1 earned because the 3 runs that Amadeo gave up in the 5th were all unearned runs. 3 hits, 8 strikeouts against just 1 walk. Hit a batter, 3 wild pitches.
1-0, swung on a miss, count 1-1.
But for the second straight start, Jimmy, he pounded the strike zone.
Yeah.
91 pitches, 65 strikes. So that's 2 straight the last 2 starts for Amadeo, 17 strikeouts and just 1 walk.
1-1. Finds the outside corner for a strike 1-2, and he felt like he had his stuff throughout. Very confident. Now that's back-to-back starts for Amadeo, a real bright spot amongst this strong pitching staff for Roncalli. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Back to back to back. Or a belly to belly to belly.
That's the Bugs Bunny Frisbee slider that we saw from Green his freshman year, and we've seen it for 4 years.
On the punch-outs. 7, 8, 9 go 1, 2, 3. All on Ks for Green. We head to the bottom of the 6th, still tied at 4. Royals trying to change that. We come back on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Family owned and operated since 1971, O'Reilly Branson Funeral Service and Crematory has been dedicated to serving families with the utmost dignity and compassion. The staff at O'Reilly Branson are experts in pre-planning, cremation, and at-need funeral arrangements, and have a long history of supporting your Roncalli Royals. Your wishes are honored to the finest detail, allowing you to celebrate the life and cherished memories of your loved ones. For more information, visit O'ReillyBranson.com. O'Reilly Branson, where our Catholic family serves your Catholic family.
Back at La Pinta Field with Rob Brown, I'm Jimmy Cook. Stadium lights on all across La Pinta in what's turned into a nice, albeit chilly night in Chex Notes April. Never know what you're going to get around here in Indiana, the early goings of spring, but
I would like to point out you're in a golf shirt with no coat on, so you can put a coat on.
Well, I mean, I'm fine. I just mean the poor folks that aren't in a solid structure like we are here in the press box might be a little chilly. I'm good.
That's their own volition.
Look, did I debate wearing golf shorts tonight? Yes. Am I no longer in my 20s and totally reckless about my choice of attire? Yes. That's why we went a little long pants work today.
All fair. All fair.
Will we be in shorts the remainder of the spring season? Absolutely. We will.
We'll have shorts on before the season's over.
We'll get the graphics card in there. Jimmy Cook's wardrobe, made by Callaway. We'll get that in there for you shortly.
That'd be a nice setup, wouldn't it?
It would.
We had.
Well, Nance has that, right?
Yeah.
At the end of every broadcast, Nance suits take
a wardrobe deal.
Exactly.
7-8-9 due up here for the Royals in this bottom six.
For Roncalli, as Cotter looks in for the initial offering, that is hammered up the middle for a base hit. For Luke Rader, he'll trot around first and hold with a leadoff single.
So Luke Green, Luke Green, who entered the game for Amadeo in the pitcher spot. So Green hitting here. Doesn't get too many opportunities to swing the bat, just his third at bat of the season.
Going to one of my favorite songs in the shuffle right now, a little A-OK there, his walk-up song. Throw over to first, not in time, back successfully, is Rader. Always found it fascinating, especially at this level. As a pitcher, you're not seeing a ton of at-bats like you mentioned, but, man, you do a little bit of damage, do yourself some good in the process. Throw over to first is not in time, back safely is Rader, but bunt shown there by Green. He's not messing around. He understands the mission at hand right now on the bottom of the sixth. Just move the runner over. Showing bunt the whole way.
Third baseman Sobek way in on the grass.
Cotter
and Green
deals.
Gets a great bunt down the first base side, and it rolls foul.
Man. Well, motion and physics unkind that time on the well-established bunt by Green. But as Rob mentioned, rolls foul. So trotting back to first is Rader. And we'll try it again, 0-1 to Green.
It's the first full inning of work for Charlie Cotter.
Throw to first, not in time.
Cotter came on with one out in the fifth in relief. We'll get the final line for the starter, Josh Bingman, here in a moment.
Showing bunt the whole way is Green. He pulls it back as that pitch was low. Count 1-1.
So Bingman went 4 innings and a third, allowed 4 runs, all earned, 6 hits, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks, and a wild pitch. 70 pitches, 40 strikes. Will exit with a no decision, much like his counterpart, Nico Amadeo.
Short lead off first for Rader. Throw over. He's back safely. As at minimum, assuming the base running still on point, Rader getting in the head of Cotter a bit. 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs here in the bottom of the 6th. We're tied at 4 in this Circle City Conference showdown. Bunt shown the whole way. Pitch. Green lays it down. It scoops successfully by the third baseman. Throw to second. Forced. Pitch goes wild, though. And now, or the throw over to first, rather, goes wild. Diving in. Head first slide, I beg your pardon, by Green. He's safely in there. So good heads up base running for him. Despite the bunt not being laid down as well as you'd like. Better defense, rather, there by the third baseman in Sobek. But all in all, bunt laid down by Green. Sobek, perfect read, throws a second for the force, and then a wild throw over to first off the fence. Leads to the heads-up base running by Green as he gets his jersey dirty a bit. Head first slide into second, and now he'll be brought out as you need him next inning for a courtesy runner.
Carrington Pitts is the courtesy runner, the junior. Well, it wasn't exactly how you draw it up, but you end up with a runner at second base and 1 out, which is what you were shooting for. Yeah. It wasn't the man that you thought it would be, but it's what your objective was.
Sometimes the Lord works in mysterious ways. That was a prime example right there. Not what you drew up, but the result you wanted. First pitch swinging is Nelson.
So it scored an error on the shortstop Norris on the throw to try and get Green at first. So Rader was retired 5-6 on the play at second base. Green reached via fielder's choice and then reached via an error to get to second.
0-1 to Nelson. He swings and misses. Count 0-2. Swinging for the fences, that one. Well out in front.
That's the second error of the game on Brebeuf that allowed Green to reach second base. And Carrington Pitts is the courtesy runner.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Go ahead run in scoring position for Roncalli. Throw, no, it's a fake over. Just stepping off to get him to go back was Connor. As Pitts dancing there on second.
Bottom half of my score sheet starting to look like a spring training game here.
0-2. Hammered in the air, but foul. First base side out of play.
This day, baseball history, April 15th, 1987. Back when there was pre-interleague play and you could root for a team in each league and not be compromised. I was a big Brewers guy.
Sure.
That was my American League team.
Simpler time with the Brew Crew in the AL.
Yep.
0-2. Hammered up the middle. It's gathered cleanly by Norris. Throw to first in time, but once again they do the job. Trading outs for base running opportunities. It put Pitts 90 feet away from giving the Royals the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 6th. Sacrifice there for Nelson.
2-out hit from Rudy Shutley here to give the Royals the lead. But this day in 1987, Juan Nieves threw the first no-hitter in Milwaukee Brewers history, beating the Baltimore Orioles 7-0. So the Brewers franchise beginning in 1969.
Well, it took him, 18 years for a no-hitter? It's not a bad pitch. Is skied in the air into shallow center. Coming on is Susha to make the catch and end the inning. No runs for the Royals. They leave 1 and will go to the 7th, still tied at 4. Braves up to bat, and we return. We go to the top of the 7th on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
About buying or selling land? Maybe a hunting paradise, some productive farmland, or a cozy home with some elbow room? Then look no further than Bill and Jay Miner, your Whitetail Properties land specialists. These Roncalli alums know West Central and South Central Indiana like the back of their hands. Don't wait. Call Bill and Jay today at 317-446-9500 or at 317-370-2422 or visit their agent profiles at whitetailproperties.com.
To the top of the 7th we go from LaPinta Field. With Rob Brown, I am Jimmy Cook. Green still on the mound for Roncalli. In the top of the 7th, Royals strand 1. They moved, albeit unorthodox style, moved the runner successfully over all the way 90 feet away from breaking this tie, but unable to ultimately get it done on a fly out to shallow center. Strands the runner, so the Royals will need to hold the ship at 4 and then hope for a walk-off in the bottom of the 7th. It'll be top of the order upcoming for Brebeuf. Ethan Norris, Andrew O'Brien, and Anthony Susha, who made that out in shallow center.
Little Nirvana going on the PA here, Jimmy. Remind me of my college DJ days. That album was big when I was a college radio DJ. That's when that hit.
I believe that wholeheartedly, but additionally, I feel like they've been playing to you a little bit tonight.
That was a magical time to be to think about. I was a college radio DJ playing alternative music in the early 90s when both Nirvana and Pearl Jam hit the scene. That was a magical time.
I believe it.
Magical time to be a college radio DJ back in the early 90s.
Bill Simmons would have been all for one half of that duo there.
there was a lot of garbage music too. But we had a lot of fun.
1-0 to Norris is low. Count 2-0. 2-0 to him. Down the middle for a strike. Count 2-1. We mentioned top of the order for the Braves. If you're on Roncalli, if you map this thing out, 2-1. Upstairs, 3-1. Should you be fortunate enough to be tied going to the home half of the 7th, and if fortunes don't go your way, you're at least eliminating the real meat and potatoes of this lineup here. Pitch in there for a strike, full 3-2.
Well, Green struck out the side in the 6th in his first inning of work.
Three-two. Hammered, foul, first base side, out of play. Count remains.
Really good baseball history nugget. This date, 1993, Sparky Anderson of the Tigers won his 2000th game.
3-2. Upstairs walked him. So Norris is aboard here in the top of the 7th.
Tony Vittorio heading out to the mound to talk with Green and his infield. This day, Sparky Anderson led the Tigers to a 3-2 win over Oakland for his 2000th win. Sparky Anderson, near and dear to my heart, Jimmy, managing the Cincinnati Reds throughout the entirety, or actually not the entirety, much of the 70s, certainly to those 75 and 76 World Series titles. Sparky Anderson, Jimmy, was the first manager to win a World Series managing both a National League and an American League team.
Wow.
First one to accomplish that feat. Now, 2 have done it since.
I was going to say that's got to be a short list, I would assume.
2 have done it since, but Sparky was the first when he won it with the Tigers in '84 to match his 2 Reds titles. Tony La Russa did it second.
Okay.
With the A's and then the Cardinals. Most recent, Bruce Bochy. 3 with the Giants and then Texas.
Sure.
2 years ago.
All right, then.
So there's your short list. Only 3 have done it. Sparky the first. Sparky did it 40 years ago.
Bunt shown, pitch upstairs, count 1-0.
Sparky did it 40 years ago, and then it didn't happen again until the mid-2000s.
That's crazy.
So think about how.
Yeah. Almost as long as it took Reggie Jackson to end the drought of facial hair.
To walk into a big league game with a mustache.
Bunt laid down nicely, throw to first in time, but it will move the runner for the Braves. So you utilize the base running of Norris and the nice bunt by O'Brien to move the runner. So now to break this tie in scoring position now is Norris, and it brings up their best hitter in Anthony Susha. Relatively quiet day for him so far.
0 for 3. Error does not count as a hit.
Yep,
So
but did score in the 4th and had a stolen base or 2 on the base paths in that inning to create that run opportunity. Pitch is fouled off the netting. Count 0-1.
Sacrifice on the previous play. On call, the catcher made a nice play to field it, so score that 2-3 on the putout. First baseman Nelson covering on the sacrifice.
Green looks in for the sign from on call. Runner on second, 1 out here, top of the 7th. Pitch fouled back, count 0-2. What a big opportunity this would be to put Susha away, and if things go your way, not have to worry about him again until the north side tomorrow night.
Mark Pieper hustling out of the dugout to get that foul ball.
Oh, no. Pulled back the delivery and checked on the runners. Did Green. But
gave it
Norris
a look.
Successfully back. 0-2. Upstairs 1-2. And you always, in the mind of the pitcher, Green, you can't really focus too much on the antics of Norris. Got to worry about one of the best hitters in the Circle City in Susha right now.
Just 3 Brebeuf hits in the ball game. Middle of the order has been held in check.
1-2 to Susha. Fouled back. Count remains 1-2.
Some ruckus down below us after that foul back. I'm not sure what that was all about.
Well, Susha felt like, I don't know if he just missed an opportunity there or what, but he kind of went down to 2 knees after the foul back as well. 1-2 strike to Susha. Runner off second. Tied at 4. 1 out here, top of the 7th. Throw over to second. Is it time?
Gio Artizone snuck in behind the base runner Norris and applied the tag right at the waist of Norris to pick him off.
Just beautiful execution.
So 1-6 on the putout.
And now the tide shift for all the momentum for Roncalli here. Ahead in the count 1-2 is Green to Susha. Pitch. Upstairs, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. That changes the entire dynamic of the inning. Now, Susha's still a dangerous hitter, but don't have to worry about, in theory, an RBI situation. Pitch inside, 3-2, barring one leaving the park.
Yeah, you don't want to lose him here, though.
Yeah. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Green looks in, poised and ready to deliver. Payoff. Swung on and missed. What a momentum shift for the Royals staff as Green able to blow it by him. Retire the side and set up a dramatic home half of the 7th potentially. We're tied at 4. Royals looking to walk it off when we come back on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Ane and Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane and Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane and Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane and Bartram, 317-889-9574.
To the bottom of the 7th we go from La Pinta Field with Rob Brown. I'm Jimmy Cook. Royals trying to extend their winning streak to 8 games and really grab the Circle City Conference title race by the teeth. Already 1-0 in Circle City Conference play. Would improve to 2-0 obviously with a win tonight, but then their biggest threat, one of them anyway, the Braves, they'd go up to their place tomorrow night. And a little home and home on back-to-back nights. And
by the teeth, I'm not. That might be a little much.
No,
it's an 8-game season.
No.
2 games in, I don't know if the teeth.
I mean,
you get a little ahead of yourself there.
You're probably right, but I guess more or less mapping out the idea.
It's a good start.
If I'm Roncalli, I would rather be in a position tomorrow night. No, it'd be in a position tomorrow night to really get in the driver's seat of this thing.
Well, yeah, you want to win your home games, no question, absolutely. Put the pressure on Brebeuf, absolutely. Go up there and win a home game, absolutely.
Maybe I'm disparaging the rest of the conference.
Well,
there.
and knowing that the Royals are going to throw their ace in Colin Ash tomorrow.
Yeah.
I've already been told that Ash is throwing tomorrow, so the Royals are going to bring the ace tomorrow. So,
or maybe they grab the collar right now, not fully in the teeth yet, but we're just there.
I'm with that.
Like I have to do with Judge on the regular. Judge Cook, the dog, not to be confused with Aaron Judge, the major leaguer. 2-3-4 for Roncalli as they look to walk it off. Gio Artizone will lead things off for the Royals. Cotter still the pitcher of record for the Braves. Initial offering. Grounded foul, third base side.
So 2-3-4 due up for the Royals, and each of these 3 hitters for Roncalli have a hit tonight. Artizone and Rader have the 2 extra base hits for the Royals, each with a double.
Cotter asking for a new ball, so they'll swap that one out.
It's not like we have an endless supply of pearls. This isn't the big leagues.
Sure.
We can just start tossing balls out right and left. I mean, there's a finite supply here.
It's not in the Circle City budget. We're not just rolling off Rawlings. That's not a thing. 0-1 to Shutley is low. 0-2. Oh, man. Too far into the spring to not have a couple more of these under our belt. That was a great time.
Agreed.
1 ball, 1 strike. Artizone, that's hammered down the right field line. Hooking foul.
Royals have had some success going the other way tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Saw that opposite field double by Rader.
You pointed that out a couple times, how effective that's been for him.
But the wind is not what it was at the start of this game.
No.
See that flag out in center field, still rippling a little bit, but not gusting the way it was at the start of this game.
Playful, the way I describe it out there.
Certainly not what it was at midday. It was a real wig splitter at lunchtime.
Artizone awaits the 1-2 from Cotter. Pitch is a weak dribbler to the mound, grabbed by Cotter, throw to first in time. And there's 1 down. Now in the hands of Colin Ash. He was Thrown out, trying to stretch a single into a double back in the first. Flied out to left in the fourth, and then walked back in the fifth.
We talked a lot about the run that the Royals manufactured last night against Gibson Southern, the insurance run, but Ash got the go-ahead RBI single that broke the 2-2 tie in the fifth last night.
Cotter's initial offering to Ash. Finds the outside portion of the plate, says home plate umpire, to the ire of some of the Royal faithful. 0-1. We allowed to bring up Hernandez, or are we letting him enjoy retirement?
We can just make a dinner reservation reference.
All right, that's fine too. Fouled back, count 0-2. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but in baseball lore, I think it's better as an umpire to not be remembered.
Yes.
Most umpires you remember
I think that's fair.
For very bad reasons. 0-2 is chopped right towards first. Grabbed cleanly by Cotter and tagged. A little bit more drama than there should have been there. But tagged cleanly is Ash. There's 2 away. It brings up Sam Rader, struck out his last time. And an RBI double back in the fourth and grounded out in the second. We're tied at 4, bottom of the seventh here from LaPinta Field. All that action happening in back-to-back innings in the fourth and the fifth, respectively. 1 run for the Braves in the fourth and 3 for the Royals in the bottom half. And they flip it in the fifth. 3 for the Braves, 1 for Roncalli. Has us where we're at. No runs since. Initial offering from Cotter to Rader. Low, count 1-0.
Well, you start to wonder about if we go to extras, and it's certainly looking like that is a real possibility now. What the length of Luke Green's stay will be.
1-0 is chopped toward third. It's fumbled and lost by Sobek, and reaching on an error is Rader. He trots to first, and the Royals, still very much alive in a tie game, but the life of a walk-off still alive for them as it brings up Maddox Hayworth.
I think that Luke Green might have one more inning. He is a relief pitcher, has not been stretched out really. But the Royals not really having that in mind yet. I want to try and see if they can end this here with 2 outs. Rader at first. We'll wait for the scoring decision on that play at third. I'm going to guess that that's going to be an error, but we'll wait for the final decision.
Hayworth, an RBI back in the fourth, walked in the fifth, grounded out back in the second.
Indeed an E5.
Short lead off first for Rader as Hayworth awaits the initial offering from Cotter. We're tied at 4, bottom to 7, throw over to first. Cleanly back is Rader.
Rader does have a steal today, leads the team with 10. Stole a base in the fourth, did Rader.
Cotter taking a long look over at Rader. Generous lead for him off first. Pitch. Low, count 1-0. Based on the placement of short and second, the right lead and jump for Rader. From our eye, he thinks he'd get there cleanly.
Yeah, if this gets to 2-0, he's going on 2-0.
Yeah. Hayworth awaits for the 1-0. Nice lead off first for Rader. Cotter glances at him. Now looks into Gasper. Delivers 1-0. Upstairs, can find the top of the zone, 2-0. We're all tied at 4 here at LaPinta Field. Bottom of the seventh. Royals trying to send the home faithful.
And now Tim Wesley having some words with the Brebeuf dugout. In between after that last pitch.
Stepping off is Cotter. Getting back is Rader.
That's a move, though. If it's cold outside, I might wear one of those ski masks to cover my mouth. That way they wouldn't know, A, what I was saying, or B, if I was the one saying it.
Well, 2-0, runner goes, throw to second is not going to get there. It's low on a bounce, and it will roll towards the edge of the infield grass. So the Royals have the winning run in scoring position. Time is called, but to that point, Rob, infamously last season, Aaron Boone gets told, hey, no more from the dugout. And you can tell on camera he doesn't say a word whatsoever.
Oh, yeah, that was an Oakland.
Home plate umpire, though, hears some chatter, throws him out of there. So ski mask might not be enough to prevent ejection is all I'm saying.
Yeah, 2-1 the count. Hayworth was taking that pitch so Rader could steal second.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Rader, nice lead off second. Ready to go on contact, try to win this game for the Royals. The base hit from Hayworth. Dancing, stuttering, and dancing. Pitch, fouled. First base side out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We've seen a couple of bloop singles for the Royals here tonight. Anything like that or a line drive through either side, you think with the speed of Rader likely wins the game for the Royals.
Well-manship on deck if given the opportunity.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Cotter looks into Gasper. Rader off second. Hayworth awaits. 2-2. Fouled, home plate side. We'll do it again. Cotter takes a long walk back to the mound, staring down Rader the whole way. And now looks back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. We're tied at 4. Hayworth trying to walk things off with a base hit. Cotter staring back at Rader the whole way. And now he steps off. Gamesmanship between base runner and pitcher here in the bottom of the 7th. If you're Rader and the Royals, you love it. Get Cotter all focused on everything else but the task at hand, which is Hayworth. Rader, big lead. Pitch, low, blocked, and Rader will run back standing to second. But at the very least, at least in terms of command, Rob, Rader doing his job, well done on the base pass, getting ahead of Cotter.
Rader getting his steps in down second
no
base.
Doubt, no doubt.
And he is doing everything he can to distract Cotter.
Full count, 2 outs here, bottom of the 7th, tied at 4. Hayworth trying to change that, potentially with 1 swing. Rader dancing off second, and time called by Hayworth, albeit a late time, but granted.
Now Wes Neese has come out of the dugout, and I mean, he's practically to first base.
Chirping about
taking
something.
a long loop to move some outfield positioning around.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Cotter steps off again as gamesmanship all the way around by both the Royals and the Braves. In the bottom of the 7th, tied at 4. Both fan bases chattering a bit. Always a good
Everyone
rivalry.
getting a little restless here, Jimmy.
As you would expect with the game on the line. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Rader off second. Tied at 4. Hayworth awaits the delivery from Cotter, who stares down Rader, looking back at second the whole way. 3-2. Popped in the air, in shallow center. Susha coming on. He makes the catch. Thought he bobbled it for a second, but he does secure it. And free baseball all around here on Tuesday in April. We're tied at 4. To extras we go on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Attention professionals in construction, industrial, and service industries. Quality Supply and Tool is your trusted source for wholesale products, offering top-notch tools and expertise across 4 locations in Indiana and Kentucky. Whether tackling a big project or needing reliable supplies, they've got you covered. Discover how Quality Supply and Tool can enhance your next project by visiting QualitySupplyandTool.com today. Get the quality you need to get the job done right.
Back at La Pinta Field, to extras we go. Tied at 4th, Rob Brown, I am Jimmy Cook. Royals had the go-ahead run, the winning run, rather, in scoring position, but unable to do serious damage as Rader is stranded. And we go to the top of the 8th, all deadlocked at 4. And Rob, your question in regards to what Tony Vittorio due is answered. Is Green still the pitcher of record? Likely one more inning for him here at La Pinta.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see someone get up here in this inning. Not sure who that might be, but we may see some action here in the Royal bullpen. I'm not sure if Green would go beyond this inning, as, again, he's strictly a relief guy.
Middle of the order for the Braves. Sobek upcoming.
It'd be Bingman and I would think the pitcher.
Pitch, initial offering, fouled back, third base side. Caught off the netting, irrelevant other than for style points by on-call. Count 0-1.
I think Cotter, the pitcher, when he entered the game, he comes in the 6th spot. So I think he would bat in Marcus's spot. We'll see who comes to the plate, though. We might see a pinch hitter.
0-1.
In that spot.
In there for a strike. Nice curve movement from Green, and the count's 0-2.
That's that Frisbee movement that we've seen from Green since his freshman year.
0-2 upstairs, 1-2. Where do you stand on the? You see those highlight videos like Paul Skeens, and they'll throw a terminology on the pitch, like a sweep or whatever the case may be. Pitch 2-2. There's times in baseball Twitter where people get very mad, especially purists, like they're inventing words to describe pitches. Where do you stand on all that? Are you indifferent on it, or you go with the flow? 2-2.
I'm pretty indifferent on
upstairs. There was there was certain level of traditionalism from you that I could see you being like, eh.
I mean, I can remember sitting watching cartoons when Bugs Bunny threw pitches at corkscrew.
Fair.
Made guys twist into the ground. So, I mean.
There's no line to be drawn there.
I mean,
Fair. Pitch fouled back, 3-2 the count.
You can't take it too seriously. No, I mean, come on.
So my robo-ump cause you'll support then, or no?
Yeah, I can get behind that.
3-2. Is looped towards second, and a jumping catch made with ease by Raiders, one down.
Sam got a good jump on that ball. Saw it quickly off the bat. Caught it right just beyond the lip of the back of the infield dirt.
Brings up Josh Bingman, 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out back in the 4th and 2nd, respectively. Reached on an error in the 5th. Initial offering in there for a strike, count 0-1. Should be noted in the home half for Roncalli.
Yeah, Manship would bat to lead off the inning.
Yep.
Manship was on deck when the inning ended.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Pitch outside to Bingman, count 2-1.
And the pitcher, Charlie Cotter, is on deck.
2-1 to Bingman. Swung on and missed. Blew by him with the movement. Over the top came Bingman. Count 2-2.
Cotter does not have an at-bat so far this season.
2-2. Swung on and missed. Bingman strikes out. The 12th strikeout by Roncalli pitching this evening. And it will indeed be Cotter up to the plate for the Braves.
Is now when I point out that at Reds games, if there's 11 strikeouts by Red pitchers, everybody in the park gets a La Rosa's pizza.
Oh,
which
beautiful.
I would.
Beautiful. Initial offering inside, nearly hit him. No, it did hit him. Wow. Just must have grazed the jersey of Cotter. He'll take that because he's aboard all of a sudden. Didn't expect that in his bingo card tonight. And he's at first with 2 outs.
Well, that's the last thing you want to do is hit somebody that hasn't had an at-bat all year.
Yeah. And they'll pinch run for him as well.
Stephen Neese is the courtesy runner.
Well, you're exactly right about that, RB. I mean, you look at his worst-case scenarios. You hope it doesn't wind up mattering. Green takes care of it. But to hit a guy with that little experience on the year, it's unfortunate. Something about it starting with a walk. Throw over to first. Not in time. But anyway, to your point, La Rosa's pizza.
Yeah, I would go for one of those.
You and me both. Don't think I'm going to be able to swing the Yankees trip to Great American this year with them alternating home and homes every season now. Pitch swung on and missed.
I would consider right now committing a Class D misdemeanor for a La Rosa's Pizza at the moment. I'd give it serious thought.
Look at you up on the variations of misdemeanors. A 1, bunt, show, popped in the air. I don't want
to go too far.
I respect it.
Just,
we all have our lines.
I have boundaries.
Sure, I respect it.
The pizza's really good, though. I don't know if you've ever had it. It's really good.
Look at me. Oh, yeah.
I've had it. Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah.
My man Anthony gave me the hand. He gave me he said he's heard mixed reviews. That's fair.
Maybe they're Pirates fans.
Yeah.
The ball's 2 strikes, 2 outs. Throw over to first. Are we gonna educate the listeners tonight on the Sky Rosa, or are we too early?
It's too early in the season for that.
All right.
Too early to go there.
Yeah, we got a family vacation planned the week after that trip, so it might be tough to swing. It's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday set for the Yankees and the Reds. 0-2, upstairs 1-2 this year. I like the Friday, Saturday, Sunday when you can, stay a night in Cincinnati.
Let it breathe a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get you.
Otherwise, you're round trip driving.
Yep, I get it.
Flip over to first.
Ooh,
thought he got him. Crawling late look there by Sobek.
Base umpire Ken Humphrey said the tag was up on the shoulder instead of on the hand. I think if the tag's on the lead hand.
By Nice, I bet
Nice is out.
Rather. But yeah. 1-2. Nice goes. Grounded towards second. And it winds up into center field, arguing and pleading his Raider for runner interference. He claims his ability to field the ball was impeded by the path that was taken there by Nice. Umpires having none of it, and now Braves threatening with runners on the corners and 2 outs here in the top of the 8th.
Well, that was an odd play. Tony Vittorio coming out of the dugout. Well, we just got word that our friend Scott Fleming, Marion University softball coach, won his 800th career game earlier tonight.
That's awesome.
Both of Scott's sons, Roncalli graduates. A tough break for the Royals there. That ball was just kind of fisted out towards second base, and I think Nice was running on the play, and Sam Rader had a play, but just unfortunate that Nice and the ball kind of arrived at the same spot at the same time, and I'm not sure that Sam was necessarily interfered with, but just kind of obstructed his vision.
So Bergstrom now to the plate, and the go-ahead run 90 feet away for the Braves. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Top of the 8th, pitch, fouled back sharply. Count 0-1.
Well, Green just needs to lock in and take care of Bergstrom here and end this inning. Facing the 8-hitter who struck out twice tonight. 0 for 3. Just lock in and take care of things here.
Runners on the corners, 0-1. Upstairs, 1-1. The further we go into this game, the more, not for our folks at home necessarily, the more entertaining the banter from below and the Royals faithful goes.
It's getting a little chirpy behind the plate in the fan section.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Pitch, swung on and missed. Count 1-2.
They're getting a little loopy down there below us behind the plate.
Down to 52 degrees, maybe a little exposure to the elements there. Who knows? 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on the corners for the Braves. The 1-2, and he steps off.
Green will concede the bag and let the runner go to second.
Irrelevant to the task at hand, which is Bergstrom. Ahead in the count 1-2. But now 2 runners in scoring position. Just of note, should Bergstrom get into 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pitch. Swung on and missed.
Well, credit to Green for locking in and taking care of Bergstrom to get out of it.
And the 13th strikeout for Roncalli pitching shifts the momentum to the Royals. We go to the home half of extra innings here in the bottom of the 8th, tied at 4. Can the Royals walk it off in extras. We'll find out when we come back on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
Home half of extra innings we go. Bottom of the 8th from LaPinta Field. With Rob Brown, I'm Jimmy Cook. We're all tied at 4 for Roncalli. Due up here in the inning, Will Manship, his first at bat of these proceedings. Luke Rader, and then a mystery guest.
Pitcher spot will be due up third.
Roncalli.
Not sure who that might be, but not seeing anybody throwing down in the bullpen, so that leads me to believe that Luke Green might be out for a 4th inning, in which case it would be Green batting in that spot.
We'll see how things unfold for Manship, his second varsity season, committed to play at Franklin.
Manship has not had many at-bats, only 8, and has yet to record a hit, but
did have 2 homers a season ago, just for bookkeeping.
Had two stolen bases last night, and scored the 4th run on a wild pitch that gave the Royals a huge insurance run.
So see what Manship has in his bag. Tied at 4, bottom of the 8th we go. And Cotter still the pitcher on note for the Braves.
Certainly we know what Manship can do if he's able to reach.
Cotter looks into Gasper. Initial offering to Manship. Chopped foul. Third base side.
Well, as the temperature continues to drop, I begin to get a little concerned about first base coach Mark Pieper and his ability to stay warm down there. Peeps is
a 1. Low 1-1.
Peeps' inability to stay warm is well known, and not sure how many layers he's got on down there, but we know he's got some backup layers in the dugout if this game does stretch on.
I would like to think from an equipment standpoint that they're
he's got some. He's always got some backup layers in the dugout.
1-1 drops in there for a strike. Count 1-2.
And I'm guessing they fired up the heater that's in the dugout, and he's no doubt congregating there in the top half of the innings.
1-2. Low 2-2. I imagine like a quarterback on the sidelines during a nice cold January playoff game, next to the heater, just staying warm.
No, you don't coach as long as Peeps has and not know a few tricks.
Yeah.
He knows a few.
For sure. 2-2 to Manship. Does not drop in this time. We're full 3-2.
Yeah, Manship can reach. He is a weapon on the base paths.
3 for 4 in stolen base opportunities this season. Not to put the cart before the horse. Manship still has to take care of it here. 3-2. Upstairs, he's aboard.
That's what they were looking for. Get Manship aboard to lead this inning off. And he will require the utmost attention from Cotter. And that might be enough for Luke Rader to get a hold of one.
Rader reached back in the 6th, but forced out, though. Fielder's choice. Grounded out back in the 3rd.
Does have a base hit in the 4th. Shows bunt.
Third baseman all the way in Anthony Rizzo territory, and he goes the other way to first. He's going to try to run this out. Throw to first is high, but in time. But it moves the runner safely, though, to second and Manship. So the Royals do their job small balling it. As the runner now in scoring position to walk things off.
Yeah, Rader tripped over the bag. It was 1-3 on the putout. Here's Luke Green. Reached via fielder's choice.
And they're going to
intentionally walk. Yep. Intentionally
open the double
walk.
play up.
Yep. Intentional walk to set up the double play, and that will send Carrington Pitts out as a courtesy runner for the pitcher Green.
Well, I tell you what, Rob, I know it's less prevalent at this level, but, I mean, the narrative aspect of it at any higher level is the disrespect here. You're going to walk to go get Nelson, even though it was more just to open up the double play. Got to respect that and make them pay for it.
So first and second, one out. Winning run at second base.
Royals have scoring position primed and ready to go. Nelson just got to do the work. Initial offering. Hammered in the air into shallow center. Schuster there, tagging up and faking like he was going to take off. Initially there that time. Was Manship. But there's two away. And the Royals once again in need of a base hit, but one of their best hitters in Rudy Shutley, the man to potentially write that story. First and second, 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th, Royals trying to walk it off a base hit off the bat of Shutley. The lefty steps in. Cotter looks in. Healthy leads off both first and second for the Royals. Manship the only one that matters, barring pickoff attempts. Cotter delivers. Low, blocked successfully by Gasper. Runner stay put, count 1-0. Now a quick meeting between Gasper and Cotter.
Well, certainly, if you're Cotter, you want to come to Rudy Shutley and have this be the decision at bat here. You don't want to bring Artizone to the plate with the bases loaded.
Yeah.
Because you've got the two most dangerous hitters in the Royal lineup on deck and in the hole. So you want the inning to end here with Shutley if you're Cotter.
Cotter looks at Manship on second. 1-0 is hammered, foul over the dugout. That'll send the kiddos to the woods. Try to track down that foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th, we're tied at 4. Runners off first and second for the Royals.
And on a nicer day when people are foolish enough to bring their cars up, that's a windshield foul ball
No
right
doubt
there.
about that.
That's a call the insurance agent the next day.
Something about knocking. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Pitch is a grounder that is successfully pawed by Green. He'll flip to first. He gets out of it. And we go further into extras to the 9th. Tied at 4. Royals strand 2. Which team will grab momentum by the horns? We'll find out when we come back after this on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Meet Zach. Zach rides everywhere, day and night, rain or shine. At Indiana Members Credit Union, we know Zach. We know he's been saving up for a car. We're here to help Zach and you. Now get pre-approved for auto financing as low as 2.99% APR. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters. Rates subject to credit approval and valid on purchase of 2020 or newer vehicles. Learn more at imcu.com.
Back at La Pinta Field with Rob Brown, I'm Jimmy Cook. To the 9th we go. Still tied at 4. And Rob, let's lay it out from this perspective. How much, if any, does the dialogue, the strategies, the way you're utilizing arms, the deeper this thing goes, play into the fact that you see each other tomorrow night on the north side in back-to-back evenings?
Well, you've used up Luke Green for the night. The pitch count rules are such that you're not going to have Green available tomorrow. You've made that decision. Same with Cotter.
Yeah.
For Brebeuf. You've already crossed that bridge with both of those pitchers. If you go past this inning, now you start to think about, okay, who else is available? Because Green is now 52 pitches deep. He's going to be in a 3-day rest. He's going to be in that 60 to 80 range by the time this inning ends, where he's going to have to sit 3 days. Now, after tomorrow, you don't play again until Saturday.
Pitch, bunt shown, fouled back, count 0-2.
And the same thing is true with Cotter. Cotter's thrown even more pitches. Cotter's thrown 48. So he's going to be in the same boat by the time we get through the bottom of the ninth if the Royals are unable to end the game. So you're committed to these two pitchers, at least for this inning, on both sides. After that,
pitch upstairs.
After that, you got to make a decision if you want to start using other arms. Now, you can throw on back-to-back days if you throw less than 35 pitches. So anybody that you use less than 35 pitches, you can turn around and use again tomorrow.
Right.
And Brebeuf, after tomorrow, doesn't play again until next week. So they don't have to worry about.
1-2 does not find the outside corner. Count 2-2.
Brebeuf does not have to worry about having to save somebody for the weekend like Roncalli does.
Right. 2-2. Upstairs we're full. 3-2.
But both of these managers are prioritizing this game tonight. They're prioritizing conference games and trying to win conference championships.
Full count delivery to Evan O'Brien. Fouled back.
And even though Brebeuf does not play again until next week, I can guarantee you the last thing on Tony Vittorio's mind right now is saving pitchers for Saturday.
Right.
That's the last thing he's thinking about.
Yeah.
He's thinking about trying to win this game tonight, and secondarily, trying to save pitchers for tomorrow.
Full count to O'Brien. Grounded up the middle. A stopping, diving effort by Rader, but no play is to be made. He couldn't get his momentum around for, Jeter-esque jump throw or spin move, but it was a savvy enough play to be able to stop that from going into no man's land in shallow center on a dribbler up the middle. So it holds Evan O'Brien at first, but all the same, a base runner aboard for the Braves here in the top of the ninth, tied at 4. And back to the top of the order we go as Ethan Norris steps up for Brebeuf.
Just the 5th hit of the game for Brebeuf.
Bunt shown the whole way. See if Norris pulls that back. He does. Pitch. Hit him. Runners now on first and second. And nobody out here in the top of the ninth.
Just the second hit batter by Roncalli pitching. And you have to go all the way back to the first inning. Nico Amadeo hit the second batter of the game. And, boy, that seems like 2 weeks ago at this point.
Runners lead first and second. Nobody out here top of the ninth. Looking to Andrew O'Brien. He shows bunt, and he lays it foul. Behind home plate, count 0-1. Another thing, Rob, and you can see it a bit on the mound from Green, but the chilliness and the cold getting to variety of players as it stands. Fidgetiness, not saying it's making a factor, but just an observation. Green delivers 0-1. Bunt laid down cleanly right to him on the mound. He throws to first in time, but it moves the runners second and third and one out for Brebeuf. The best opportunity they've had to put a run across since the 4th inning when they pushed 3. And it brings up Anthony Susha, their best batter, to try to swing the tide to Brebeuf.
Sam Rader covering second base, so putout goes 2-4 on the putout.
Green delivers. Initial offering nearly hit him. Count 1-0. One ball, no strikes, one out. Top of the ninth, second and third, the Braves have it. We're tied at 4. Pitch. Curved back to the middle of the plate for a strike. Count 1-1.
And Tony Vittorio comes out of the dugout and calls for the intentional walk to load the bases.
Gives you double play opportunities all around and takes the bat out of Susha's hands.
And sets up the force at home with one away.
Brings up Nick Sobek. Flied out his last time. Flied out back in the 4th as well, and a ground out in the 1st. Pitch is fouled. My time, says the umpire. And now we have activity on the base paths as well. But I think everybody's calling it a foul ball. I don't know what the motion's about.
There's base runners running all over the place. The home plate umpire's got to call something.
I believe the umpire did, but not in a manner, Rob, that everybody be able to see it. I believe he called the time and a stoppage to play. They're going to send everybody back, but that initial call was so quick that you're going to have multiple explanations here by the crew chiefs.
Well, Jack Oncall, the catcher for Roncalli, is running around tagging everyone. Oncall came up with the baseball in front of the plate. The runner at third base was hung up. A squeeze play was called. Runner at third base was hung up. Let's see if we can get
with Coach
clarification as to what's going on here.
Our promoted sideline press box analyst, Jason Sims, with his head out the window, potentially trying to get a nugget or two. Well, it appears they called the runner at first out. It's not bases loaded anymore.
So they called the runner. So basically, it's been scored as an attempted steal of home plate is basically what it's come down to.
But
so
they moved the runners up as well.
The runners have moved up, yeah. So the runner Sobek is still at the plate, but there's 2 outs now.
With a 1-1 count to his name, swung on and fouled back. But that changes the dynamic of things. Now there's no sac fly or deep fly to score a runner across. Now it's just simply take care of business at the plate with Sobek and go win it in the bottom half of the ninth.
So it goes down as a caught stealing.
Man.
Evan O'Brien, the runner at third base, is out at home plate as a caught stealing.
1-2 to Sobek. Misses just barely, and the count's 2-2. Boy, from our standpoint, Green could have been halfway to the dugout with the movement on that pitch, but not to be. Count 2-2.
So they did not call a foul ball. They basically call it a wild pitch, ball in the dirt, and a caught stealing.
2-2. Hammered into left field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. 1 run will score. They'll send the second runner aboard as well. A double for Sobek out of it. It's an RBI double, and the Braves have gotten into the driver's seat here in the top half of the ninth. They lead at 6-4. Well, the hit by pitch and the walk ultimately plague the Royals. And now it'll be up to Green to limit the damage to just 2 runs and see what is in the cards for the home half of the ninth inning. Bingman up for the Braves. Initial offering upstairs 1-0. But a gut-wrenching slap into the gap in left and center for Sobek gives the Braves the lead. Pitch fouled back, first base side. Count 1-1. Green delivers 1-1. Swung on and missed. Count 1-2. Well, you had it to an out away from getting out of trouble back in the fourth for the Royals and an out away from going to the home half of extras here in the ninth. Both times big hits for the Braves. Push positive action to their side of the ledger. None more so here, leading 6-4. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. With a runner still aboard on second. To Bingman. Pitch. Swung on and missed. They got to make the throw over the punch out. No, it's a strikeout anyway. Thought they were going to make him throw to first for the punch out. And all the same, that will not be the case. The Braves, though, do their damage. In the top half of the ninth, they push 2 across on a slap shot. The gap between center and left for Sobek. They lead at 6-4. The Royals have a rally within them. We'll find out when we come back after this on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.
Comes to physical therapy, you have the freedom to choose your provider. At Indiana Physical Therapy, our experienced therapists will work with you to create a personalized treatment plan tailored to your needs. Whether you're recovering from injury, managing a chronic condition, or looking to improve your sports performance, we've got you covered. Take control of your health and schedule your appointment today at indianapt.com or call us at 317-449-2333.
Back at LaPinta Field as the Royals try to find a rally within themselves, trailing 6-4 as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. With Rob Brown, I'm Jimmy Cook. We joke about it, but often action starts with a walk or a hit by pitch. It's what happens in the road half of the ninth for the Braves. They push two across, or they put two aboard with a hit by pitch and a walk, and then an intentional walk asked for by Tony Vittori. Already one out to their credit to start the inning on a ground out by O'Brien. But after that, Rob, everything goes squirrely. And then by the time things in order were restored, Sobek slaps one into left, and the Braves push two across. But all that action and drama really undercut the top half of this inning.
Well, yeah, there was a tight call there on what some people thought may have been strike three to end the inning. That could have ended the inning. But Royals didn't get the call, and the next pitch was a double in the gap that scored two. But, boy, you look at the scorecard, Royals have had runners in scoring position in the 6th, in the 7th, and in the 8th. Couldn't get them home, and any of those runners would have ended the ball game.
Yep.
So there have been plenty of opportunities in this game for Roncalli to end the game. But, you know, down 2 runs, but you've got the heart of the order coming up, your 3 best hitters to start off this inning. Chances are still there to keep this thing going.
Initial offering low and outside to Artizone. Grounded out back in the 7th, walked in the 5th, the double, and he would score as well in the 4th, and thrown out on the base paths back in the 1st. Pitch, hammered in the air, into left field and deep. Back, track, wall. It hits the ground right in front of the wall, and now looking for a double is Artizone. It'll hit the netting and be thrown in, but a leadoff double for Artizone gives a pulse to the LaPinta Field faithful here in the bottom of the 9th.
That's a good start. That'll get you started.
Yeah. It's a Duralast battery of a start, to be certain. They still in business? They still doing things?
I'm not sure, but
all right.
Yeah, if you're down 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning, the 3 hitters that you want up to start the inning are the 3 hitters who the Royals have up. So take your chances here.
Ash, the lefty, awaits the opportunity. Could tie things with a swing of the bat. Cotter looks in. Artizone off second with a nice lead there. Inconsequential in terms of the Braves' mindset. Pitch swung on and missed. But it's a wild pitch off the swing and a miss. So moving to third. Heads up base running there is Artizone. As Gasper was unable to block that and keep it in front of him. Artizone now 90 feet away from pushing one across and cutting this lead in half. Still 6-4 as it stands, though. No balls, 1 strike, no outs. Home half of the 9th. Royals trailing 6-4. Ash awaits the 0-1 from Cotter. Low, 1-1. Cotter looks in. Ash awaits the 1-1. Chopper towards second base hole. Gathered, thrown to first in time, but a run does score thanks to the leadoff double and healthy base running from Artizone. The Royals within a run. 6-5, though, 1 down in the bottom of the 9th. Sam Rader to the plate, reached on an error back in the 7th, struck out in the 5th. RBI double back in the 4th, grounded out in the 2nd. Cotter's initial offering to him. Swung on and missed, going for the fences was Rader. Count 0-1.
Does have a home run this season. Hit one against Lutheran a couple Saturdays ago.
Be a heck of a time for his second. Playful breeze out into right field. Pitch fouled back first base side. Count 0-2. Both these teams will be in action tomorrow night back on the north side. We'll get into our next RMN broadcast as things unfold here. 0-2 to Raider. Outside 1-2.
First softball broadcast on the calendar?
We do have a softball broadcast on the calendar, but a baseball broadcast before then.
Okay.
End of the month for a softball broadcast, April 30th against Franklin Central.
Okay, well, that's a big one. Always a good one.
Oh, yeah. 1-2. Hammered in the air to right field, but coming on to make the catch is Frank, and the Royals are down to their final out. It'll be Maddox Hayworth. Try to keep the Royals' hopes alive. We'll do it now, I suppose. Our next baseball broadcast a week from tonight against Bishop Chatard, 5:30 first pitch. Might be, depending on downtown to Southside traffic, Rob Brown opening the gates for you. We'll get into that more later. Initial offering here is low to Hayworth. Count 1-0. You never know with that traffic downtown. But that's why we have the vet in the booth.
Hard telling.
1-0 is hammered up the middle and through for a base hit. The Royals stay alive. Ducking out of the way was Cotter. That nearly took his head off. But Hayworth will take it as he's aboard. The tying run stands at first for Roncalli, and the go-ahead run steps up for the Royals in Will Manship. He had action leave the park. Had him leave the park twice last year. No homers yet this season. Things are getting loopy here in the La Pinta Field in the late evening in April. And now a courtesy runner for the Royals.
Yeah, pinch runner.
Carrington Pitts. Be in for Hayworth. Royals still down to their final out. Here in the bottom of the ninth, trailing 6-5. Manship takes his time and now steps in. Pitts off first. Very careful on the base paths. Rose had troubles early on in this game. Cotter delivers. Upstairs, count 1-0. Manship walked his last time. It was just an inning ago. Quick glance over at Pitts by Cotter. 1-0 to Manship. In there for a strike, 1-1. Found a downstairs portion of the plate. Manship steps off, now steps back in. Pitts off first. Cotter glances at him. Throw over. He's back cleanly. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. In the bottom of the ninth, Royals trailing 6-5. Cotter again glances at Pitts. Looks in at Gasper now. Delivers the 1-1 to Manship. Grounded foul. And the Royals are down to their final strike. Will steps out. Now steps in. Cotter glances over at Pitts. Delivers 1-2 to Manship. Upstairs, just missing. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
That was close.
No dinner res jokes, Rob.
Nope.
None to be had there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Royals clinging to life, down 6-5 with a runner on first. 2-2 to Manship. Low, we're full 3-2.
Luke Rader on deck if Manship can keep this thing going.
Cotter looks in. Pitts off first. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Delivery. Runner goes. Hit him. Hit him cleanly on the tailbone. A show of emotion by Manship as he looks to the dugout for the ability to implore a rally out of his teammates. And now the Royals have the go-ahead run on first.
It's a tremendous at-bat by Manship.
And you're exactly right, Rob. Artwork there by Manship to work out of trouble and give the Royals a chance. As now a meeting on the mound, they'll talk to Cotter.
I think there might be a pitching change here. I don't know. There's a lot of handshakes for Cotter, giving me the thought that he might be making a change, but I was fooled last time Wes Neese came to the mound, and body language suggested he was going to make a change, but we'll see. Luke Rader's 2 for 3 tonight.
Gonna keep him out there.
Keep him in. Cotter staying in, but Luke Rader 2 for 3. The sacrifice does not count as an at-bat.
So Royals still down to their final out, but with far better life than they had a few moments ago. Runners on first and second, trailing 6-5. And now a meeting on the mound, this time between catcher and pitcher. You know, he's turned bad from what I understand.
That's what I heard. I just noticed that he turned bad at the pay-per-view, and the next day he was no longer on the screen at McDonald's. It was a sudden change that I could not understand. It's almost like McDonald's knew something that I didn't.
They're always up, Rob. It's how they stay ahead of the game. It's not just billions and billions served.
I felt so betrayed. Just rolled up on a Monday morning, wanted my Diet Coke, and all of a sudden John Cena wasn't there in the yellow sweater, commending me on my order.
There's a certain level of reliability you grow accustomed to.
Made me really sad.
Initial offering here. Hit him. And the bases are juice. And another imploring outburst towards the dugout. Rader gives to his teammates. It'll bring Luke Green to the plate, assuming there's no changes there.
Well, now Wes Neese has to make a pitching change because he's coming to the mound again. Now there has to be a change, as this is the second mound visit of the evening. And it looks like Nate Marcus is coming back into the game.
It's time on the mound.
Well, I'm not sure who the new pitcher is going to be. Let's take a break and we'll sort it out.
Yeah, we'll step aside for 30 seconds and be right back. It's Roncalli Royals Baseball on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's. 6-5, Royals threatening with the bases loaded when we come back.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldhoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldhoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk and Veldhoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
Back at La Pinta Field with Rob Brown, I'm Jimmy Cook. 6-5, Braves lead it in the bottom of the ninth, but the Royals trying to display a rally within them. Bases loaded, 2 outs. It'll be Luke Green stepping up to the plate, but before that, a bit of a pitching change as Cotter's relief time is over.
Well, Ethan Norris, the shortstop, is now the new pitcher, making his 4th appearance, 3rd in relief. 1-1 on the season with a 12.60 ERA. 5 innings pitched, allowed 12 runs, 9 earned, 12 hits, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. Last appearance was in Game 2 of the doubleheader the Braves played last Saturday at Lutheran. Was the starter in that game, went 4 1/3, allowed 7 runs, 4 earned, 6 hits, and 5 strikeouts. So Norris was the shortstop for the duration of this game. Comes in to pitch. Bingman moves over to shortstop from second base, and Nate Marcus has re-entered the game and has come back in at second base.
Luke Green, though, the artist with the paintbrush to try to give the Royals a masterpiece win here. as he seeks his first RBI of the season, and you can add 2 of them to there. Be a walk-off fashion for the Royals down to their final out.
So the bases are loaded, 2 outs. Royals down a run.
Norris looks in to Gasper as Green awaits. Runners ready to go on contact. Pitch well outside. Count 1-0, and again, nowhere to put Green should it come to that.
I think if you're Green, you're taking till you see a strike.
I would agree. RB. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Norris delivers 1-0. Drops in there for a strike.
That's a great
count.
pitch.
1-1.
Pitch had a little bend on it.
Yep. Gasper runs out there. Give brief tip of the cap to Norris.
So Carrington Pitts, the courtesy runner, bench runner, I should say, down at third. Will Manship at second. Good speed at second. Luke Rader over at first.
Norris looks into Gasper. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Pitch nearly hit him. And man, you're talking about centimeters from hit by pitch and the tying run walk into home plate. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Braves lead at 6-5, bases loaded. Delivered to Green. Hit through for a base hit, and that'll win the ball game with a throw. Let's see. All the way to the plate, diving in, head first slide, safe. The Royals walk it off. It's a walk-off single into center field, far tighter than I thought it was going to be on the throw from Susha, but heads-up base running by the Royals going on contact, a head-first diving slide by Manship, and the Royals pull victory out of the jaws of defeat with a wild ending here at LaPinta Field.
Well, it's only fitting. Luke Green, 4 innings of relief to get the win, and he gets the walk-off 2-run RBI in the batter's box. So Green does it on the mound, does it at the plate. That's our player of the game right there.
Hands down, no doubt about it. Your Gallagher's Pub and Eatery player of the game goes to Luke Green, and give credit to Susha. Almost maybe wear some egg there because that throw was far tighter to the plate than I thought it would be. All the same, though, Manship with some incredible base running, dives head first. The Royals win the ball game, run their winning streak to 8. Now 8-1 on the season and 2-0 in conference play with what should be a bitter one tomorrow night on the north side against Brebeuf.
Let me give you Luke Green's final pitching line. 4 innings in relief, 2 runs, both earned, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts against 2 walks. Luke Green's pitching line in relief. His decision was the win was his first decision of the season. Proves to 1-0. Losing pitcher was Charlie Cotter. Cotter now on the season. He is 1-1. Brebeuf drops to 3-4 on the season. Time of the game, 2 hours and 59 minutes. In front of a chilly and robust crowd of 211 here at LaPinta Field.
Quite a night as the Royals walk it off to beat the Braves 7-6. Our next Roncalli Media Network broadcast a week from tonight, 5:30 first pitch as the Royals take on the Trojans. Our first softball broadcast of the season comes at the end of the month, April 30th against Franklin Central. That game will be with the coach Pat Crosley, but next Tuesday night, broadcast might be opening, though at the very least will be alongside the great Rob Brown. Another fun one, RB. Always great to have you back in the booth, my friend.
Let me give you some final totals before we say goodnight, Jimmy. Totals for Brebeuf, 6 runs, 6 hits. Braves had 3 errors and left 8. For the Royals, 7 runs, 10 hits, 4 errors, and 11 left. Again, time of the game, 2 hours and 59 minutes. Winning pitcher Luke Green, 1-0 on the season. Losing pitcher Charlie Cotter, now 1-1.
Well, that about wraps things up from LaPinta Field on a Tuesday night. The executive director of the Roncalli Media Network is Therese Carson. Video operations director AJ Ablong and his student crew. Anthony leading the way for us tonight, doing an incredible job as always. My partner in crime, Rob Brown, and of course, I'm Jimmy Cook. In our next Roncalli Media Network broadcast, a week from tonight, 5:30. First pitch, 5:25 pregame show. Rob Brown will be back alongside with yours truly as well. We hope you'll join us, too. Again, our final in this one, Royals walk it off against Brebeuf. 7-6 your final in extra innings in the ninth. Stay with us. We will be back next week for more Roncalli Royals baseball on the Roncalli Media Network, presented by Gallagher's.